there. Make sure we're streaming here.
Rolled his Chapman.
And that was the second time I got crabs.
We should do that like weird intros. All right. We are live. Welcome back to the
We got 5 on it.
podcast.
Welcome back. We missed a week, just due to some family stuff going on, and we miss weeks for that sometimes.
We do.
If you haven't already, I hope you have, and if you didn't, rate, subscribe, review us on the Apple Podcast, because that's the best one.
Yes.
And you can use Spotify if you'd like, or whatever you guys do on your Google phones. Also, you can follow us on 5 on It Pod on the Instaspace and MySpace and the 5 grams.
Yep.
And you can get us on the Tweeter. Same thing. 5 on It Pod.
Tweeter, twatter.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Sorry we missed a week.
We're back.
We're back.
Wait, are we back?
I'm beardless.
We're back.
I'm beardless. It's upsetting.
I wanted to do a nice introduction for the people that watch on YouTube
upsetting.
to Cameron's
I'm sorry.
lips.
Yeah.
Welcome your lips and
This
your
is a
teeth.
non-straw drink here.
The fact that you say that's beardless is so disheartening as a guy who can't
Yeah.
grow a beard.
Yeah, this
'cause
is
that's a beard, bro. I mean, it is.
This is
It's just not aggressive. And
yeah.
Cam does
I had
have
a moment
mouth.
I had a moment of weakness, and I shaved it off. And
Can't commit
yeah.
to that.
no.
Yeah,
We
that's
missed
scary.
last week to tell you what we were going to do for our challenges this month.
We did.
I am cutting out snacks, which includes any sort of candies, chips, nonsense in between meals. And I give up dip, which is not really a big deal for me.
No, it's not.
But I just do it on Tuesdays with Tybo, so I did it for him. And
Thank you for that.
I'm also doing the meditation with Rybo, and so far not really going all that great. I used the Headspace thing from Gavin at State and told me about it, and it's still not working all that great.
So you're doing it. It's just
Doing it.
It's just difficult.
It's not really difficult. It's just I don't feel like I get anything out of it.
What do you mean? Like, are you?
I don't feel like my brain slows down.
So, okay, maybe I can help out. I'm definitely no meditation expert, but I've done it a few times and researched it a little bit. And I had the same problem when I started, because I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing 10 minutes a day is
Yeah.
what we're doing. But I had done it a couple times before. And I was getting frustrated because I had this expectation, okay, I meditate, sit down, do the ha, whatever, and it's just supposed to quiet everything. And I don't have that experience.
Maybe you're right. I had unreal expectations about what was going to happen. I thought I was going to have a come into Jesus moment, and it just never happened for me.
So everything that I read, it's it's not about necessarily quieting your thoughts. It's about just being aware of your thoughts and working over time to be able to kind of control what your thought is. So I've used Headspace. I also use a different one called, I think it's Insight Timer. And the cool thing about that's what I've been using for this challenge. The cool thing about that is you can search them based on what you want out of it. So,
you were kind of telling me about that briefly.
If you want more focus or some relaxation or anxiety or to help with sleep or whatever.
Yeah.
One that I really like is a full body scan. So you just mentally think about all parts of your body. And it's
I did
guided.
kind of one on that on Headspace, and it was focus, close your eyes as hard as you can, then you try to focus on that. But I'm telling you, the whole time I'm doing it, I am focusing on those things, but it's still fucking running 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Because I remember when I first did it, I was so frustrated because I was like, God, I don't feel like Buddha. I don't feel
Guys,
calm.
it's been 8-9 days.
Well, I also don't think I wasn't really.
That's true, too.
Yeah, I don't really. The expectation thing wasn't really there. It was just more I thought I was going to be able to control more. But you are who you are. You can only do what you can do.
Yeah, and I think that's a big difference. Is it's not about control. It's just about being aware.
Yeah.
And that's a weird thing for guys like you and me, and probably for you too, Tybo. It's no, but I have to control this. And it's well, no, maybe that's the whole point of the exercise. It's not about control. It's just about being aware of what is.
Yeah, maybe I have a let loose moment one day. Who
Yeah,
knows?
I don't
I'll keep
know.
trying.
I'm too self-aware, bro. I don't need that shit in my life.
How is yours going, Tybo? I've seen you for the last week, and the first few days I put you on
You
Suicide
look like
Watch.
shit.
Yeah.
No, man, I was all right. So for those that don't know, I cut out dipping for this month.
Proud of you for this.
Chewing tobacco for all the
chewing tobacco, the chaw,
The
whatever the
bitch.
fuck you want to call it.
The good stuff.
I was a super bitch the first 3-4 days. I was so crabby. People would say good
Sorry
morning.
to everybody at TaylorMade.
You were like on your period.
Oh my god, people would say good morning. I'd tell them to fuck off.
God, how awesome would have been if that lady who told you to smile more, if you
yeah.
saw her
If I
that day 2.
Saw that janitor that told me to smile more, I would have kicked her right in the vagina.
Kicked
But
her
no,
in the
it's
front butt.
it is it's getting easier. I thought driving as much as I do, I thought that'd be the toughest part. Really, the toughest part is doing it with or not doing it when I'm having a beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bud Light tastes different. I'm not sure why I like it so much.
I might switch. I
yeah,
don't know. Maybe
might
I'm a
switch.
Coors Light guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you dip when you dip?
Copenhagen Wintergreen pouches.
Yeah. So you have like a minty Bud Light.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard, man, but it's good. Now, what I will say is, I don't know if I'm gonna quit because be honest, I fucking love it. And it's awesome. And if I die, I die. But I am gonna try to relegate it to strictly golf or like kind of special occasions.
Good.
So
That's smart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't need to be doing it on my drive.
Moderation, right?
Yeah, I don't need to be doing it on my drives every time I go to stadium, throwing in a fucking whole can.
Yeah.
Like a degenerate.
Well, that's good. I like that.
And my lip actually feels a lot better. It's not super jacked up.
It's not all, it's not
yeah,
all
it's not all,
shaped.
yeah, it's not all
shaped and
raw.
fucking-
You can already tell a difference.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
for sure.
Your mouth and your teeth fucking heal pretty quick.
Yeah, it's so it's good. I'm glad I'm doing it.
I'm glad you're
wa-
doing it too.
It was super hard those first
Good.
3-4 days. I literally hated everybody.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I bet.
I made it through.
I give you a lot of credit, man.
Thank you.
That's a tough one.
It was hard.
So good for you.
And it's gonna save me a shit ton of money. I did
That's
the
the
math.
other
I did the
thing.
math.
$310 a month.
Come on,
A
dude! Don't put me
month?
on blast like that. It's
That's a car payment,
it's
bro.
$2,500.
That's a pretty good car
Bro,
payment.
$2,500 a year.
Yeah, we're gonna get them down to like $50 a month.
Ridiculous. I
Wow, that's a
literally
lot.
looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're a fucking asshole, dude. You don't have that much expendable
I mean,
income.
I don't want to
was
justify your
ridiculous.
habit, but there's plenty of things we can all add up. How many people go to Starbucks and spend $5 a day?
No, for sure. You're
You
right.
know?
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
sure. But
I don't want to.
no,
I'm
but
not trying to encourage.
it's good. If I can just do $7 a week, that's a hell of a lot better
Yeah.
than 300 and whatever.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So
Okay, so-
real fast. So I went to Nashville.
yeah, how was that?
It was great. Loved it. So yeah, I just got back. I was there for the 4th of July. Did you guys have a good 4th, by the way?
We did. We hung out
No.
with each other.
Good.
No, I hated it.
Tybo does not believe in sunscreen, and the sun doesn't believe in not fucking him.
You really don't believe in sunscreen?
I thought
No,
I was
he
tough.
did.
I
No,
thought
he
I was
did.
tougher than
Yeah.
the sun.
Dude,
the
I-
fucking sun.
I need sunscreen. I'm so pale.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Melanoma does not
I got you
discriminate.
guys some souvenirs.
No.
Well,
Oh,
just
I'm sorry, that
little,
was
just
loud.
little
I'm
things.
sorry, that
just
was
little
loud.
things. So okay,
Can't put-
Cam, for those of you listening, these are little. It makes little gun ice cubes for your whiskey.
Oh my
Oh,
god, that is
that's awesome.
amazing.
So Tybo, I obviously couldn't get you that, so I tried to find the most country
Thank
thing
you.
that was a little bit controversial.
That
All
is
right, I love it.
awesome, dude.
Which is a koozie
Oh, I love
that
it.
basically makes fun of people that don't stand, and then a little shot glass for you.
This is amazing.
So-
This is incredible. Thank
yeah,
you, dude.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, absolutely.
If you kneel
I've
for
never
the
seen something
anthem,
like
you're
this.
in the wrong
Me neither.
damn
Dude,
bar.
the best part is
I
that you can
love
get a
it.
little glass, and you could just put it on the side.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fucking bad.
Oh, that
so I was
is
like, should I get
amazing.
Tybo the gun ice cubes? I was like,
Dude,
and you
that
guys
is
don't strike me
great.
as
It'll
guys
be
that-
his first gun.
You guys don't strike me as guys. How many guns do you own? They're
Well,
all
I got
ice
zero. I got 4.
cubes. As long as they don't melt, I can use them.
Exactly.
But yeah, you guys don't strike me as guys that would wear around Nashville T-shirts. So.
No.
There it
Thank
is.
you. That's
yeah,
awesome,
dude, that's super thoughtful.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Oh yeah, don't mention it. It was like $10 each. So, anyways, all right, go ahead. Tim. I didn't
Okay,
wanna-
so last week we were going to do, in honor of the 4th of July, from a previous podcast where we said we would change about the United States. This week, which we were going to do last week, we're going to stick with it. We're going to go top 5 favorite things about America.
we're not all doom and gloom.
We're not all doom and gloom, and we all love here, collective love it here.
Yes,
We wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Otherwise, we would.
we live in the best country on the planet.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's
Factual.
not close.
At all.
Factual.
Okay, so
Am I
that
hitting
being
leadoff?
said, Tybo is hitting leadoff.
Hell yeah.
Um,
I'm only hitting about 260 from leadoff spot.
Yep, there
but
we go.
You guys got wheels.
Yeah, above the Mendoza line. Can't complain. All right, so my number 5 things. Oh, you know what? I got to start out with my sponsor. This is my sponsor because I had a real tough time leaving this off my list, so I had to give it a shout out. In-N-Out. I love In-N-Out.
It's a good pick.
And that is one of the greatest things about America.
I almost put food.
Yeah,
I
it
almost
is.
put food.
So, yeah, In-N-Out, proud sponsor of the We Got 5 on the podcast. Number 5, geography. I think America's great in a lot of ways, but one of the things I love about it, especially where we live, you can go to the beach and the mountains in the same day.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate, but even if you go East Coast, West Coast, North, South, there's so many things that I think a lot of Americans don't really understand how lucky we are with just our natural geography. Number 4, diversity. This is kind of
Oh, it's a hog.
oh
Yeah.
bag. Sorry, if you don't watch South Park, you won't get that joke. Number 4, diversity. And that goes anywhere from the people. I mean, we get to interact with so many different people in this country, and I think that truly is a great thing. But I'm even going as far stretching it out to, I mean, the food we have, and I mean, you can go get
Yep.
Chinese, American, obviously, Mexican, Italian. I mean, we have everything and anything you could ever want, and I think that all ties into diversity. You know, a country built off a bunch of immigrants. Don't forget that, the righties. Number 3, military dominance.
Use that
I'm
koozie.
gonna put a big
Use that
question
koozie.
mark next to what you just fucking said.
Number 3, military dominance. 2-time World War champions.
Back to back.
Back to back. Drake said it best. But yeah, the fact that we have such a dominant military force, and anyone that doesn't like the military could you can just get on out. Number 2, college football. I will die on this hill that it is better than those
I'm not
first
mad at
3.
it. It's
Such
your
a
favorite.
Tybo pick.
It is.
good.
That is.
I don't hate it, though.
It is
I
a
don't
me pick.
either.
College football is fucking amazing, and no sport touches it. If you just watch the World Cup, you go, "Oh, soccer, the world's most popular sport." Yeah, because you know what? America has enough resources and wealth where we don't need to kick around dead fucking animals between 2 sticks. College football reigns supreme. It's the best. Number 1, freedom. Mel Gibson said it best, yelled it best, even though I think he played a Scotsman, and he's an anti-Semite. But anyways, freedom, number 1, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the freedom of the press, freedom to own guns if that's what you'd like to do. All of those things make our country great, and I think nothing can touch that. So that's my top 5.
Good deal.
Solid. All right, I'm up next. So this week, instead of a sponsor, I'm gonna do just a quick remembrance. So the reason why we couldn't do last week's podcast is my fiance's grandpa, who I grew pretty close with. It was passed away, and it was his funeral. So I want to do a quick cheers to Gene, and then also to Tyler Skaggs.
Yeah.
Pretty sad.
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
no sponsor, just by those
Cheers.
2 dudes. So there's that. All right, number 5. I agree with Tybo. I go geography and landscape. I think when you look at just the landscape of America, we got, on a macro level, we got the plains, we got the beaches, we got the mountains, we got anything you could want pretty much in our 4 corners. So I love that. It's probably something we take for granted. And also, I think all in all, we do a pretty great job of protecting the geography and the landscape with the national parks
Yep,
and things like that.
exactly.
And that's something that we should uphold always. So number 4 is the people. Not just the diversity, but the type of people that we have, the makeup of an American. The media portrays, left, right, north, south, all the extremes, but all in all, we are a blue-collar nation, and I would argue that
At the core.
Yeah, and I would argue that based comparatively to other countries in the world, the gap between the super rich and the super poor is not as big as other countries.
Okay.
I mean, think about it.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, we can dive into that, but
No,
I mean, there's definitely a gap. I'm not arguing that, but I'm just saying, compared to other countries, not nearly as big.
no.
So, but the people is what make this country go round, and I think they're the best people in the world. Number 3, the youth get to choose their own destiny. I think we kind of take that for granted, and there's a lot that goes into that, but in a lot of other countries, you kind of are what you are, and arranged marriages.
You are
all
what
those
your
crazy
you are what
things.
your family is.
Right.
More, yeah.
And there's just not as much opportunity for choice. Number 2, the American dream. And we all know everything that goes into that, but, you know, when you stop and think about it, it's kind of a crazy thing. Like, what is France known for? Okay, the Eiffel Tower, maybe some food, some things that they did. What are other places known for? But really, there's only one country that's known for something that isn't physical. It's an idea. And there's nothing more powerful than an idea, right? And especially something as powerful as a dream. So just the whole idea of the American dream and actually the execution of making that happen, it's a pretty amazing thing. And number 1, the best thing about our country is our freedoms. I think we all agree on that. But
Yep.
I mean, that to me, that is obvious. So I pick number 1, our military, because without them, you can believe what you want as far as what wars we should or should not be in, or how we do it or whatever. But at the end of the day, these are people that choose to go to battle in whatever way they do to protect our freedoms. So without them, we don't have any of these freedoms that we love. So to me, hands down, without a doubt, 100%, whether you're left, right, our military is the best thing about our country. People choosing to put their lives
Ain't nobody fucking with us.
on the line and sacrifice for us to be able to do whatever the fuck we want. And that's a beautiful thing. So that's
Yes,
my
sir.
top 5.
Well put.
Hoorah!
Well, some people might not
My
like
list is going to be brought to us this week. My sponsor is going to be ourtime.com. It's a dating
Uncle Bob.
it's a dating app for older gentlemen and women, and it really just encapsulates America. We want everybody to get laid.
So how strict is that? Because I'm striking out pretty hard on these
How
other
strict is
dating
farm?
apps.
Farmers only.
It says
Yeah.
Or black
50s,
people meet.
but
How is that even allowed, by the way?
Christian Mingles. I don't. Have you tried them all?
Not-
Grinder or
Grinder's the only one I think I'm gonna have to say no to. But like Christian
I also don't know
Mingle-
what any of them mean.
Your dad
so-
disagrees.
Oh yeah. God damn.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to live it down.
No.
Okay.
Dad thinks I'm a homo.
Let's jump. I'm
It's
gonna
tough.
jump into mine, but that's Uncle Bob, ourtime.com. Get it on.
I'd love
Number 5, and this is one of my favorite things, and this is just strictly personal. Amazon Prime.
I like this.
It's like hard
There-
to argue, but it's still funny. At the
It
same
is one of the best things ever created. I can wake up in the morning. I get up pretty early. I can look
Yeah.
on my phone. I think of something that I need, and it says, if you order in the next 6 minutes, this will be here by 5 o'clock today. And I'm like, that's not real. Challenge accepted, Amazon. And it comes to my house every single time. You can get anything you need. They're taking over the world. And I bet you there's not, I mean, I think Amazon probably delivers to other countries, but not in 6 hours.
That was my question. I'm like,
Yeah.
is it U.S. only?
Yeah, I think
Like,
it's U.S. only because there's an Amazon plant
Of
close
how
to me.
speedy it
Yeah,
is.
it's speedy. It's awesome.
Got it. Okay.
So number 4. This is a pretty big one for me because I mean everybody's seen documentaries and whatnot. Due
It's
process.
a good pick.
Due process here in the United States. For sure, we've all heard the horror stories.
Yeah.
But how many other horror stories from other countries have you heard that are so much worse?
No doubt. No
I
doubt.
want to know that if for some reason something happens to me, I have an option to, get a lawyer. I've been to Mexico a lot of times.
You don't want to get stuck down
You don't
there.
want to get fucking.
No.
You don't want to get arrested by a 13-year-old with an M16.
Nope.
We have the best country when it comes to that. You have a fair chance at fighting, for the most part. Obviously, outliers, take those out. You want it. Number 3, capitalism. I love it. I love what it stands for. I think it's great. I think that everything, if left to alone to do its own thing, and you want to be successful and you want to work hard enough, you can be. Follows right up by my number 2, opportunity. The opportunity in America is leaps and bounds above all other fucking countries. Some countries are great, but they have too many fucking people. Some countries are stupid and they have no opportunity.
What country's the most stupid?
Offhand?
Yeah.
Gosh, that's tough.
Venezuela right now.
North Korea is not that great.
I knew you were gonna say.
Yeah,
North
I don't
Korea.
think they're that great. Iran's probably not that great right now either.
I think Iran's all right.
They're smart in their own way.
Yeah.
They, in their minds, they are.
I mean,
I think
yeah.
Venezuela's probably the most fucked up right now.
No, they're doing great. You didn't hear the Dems? And my
Here we go.
number one is also going to be freedom, and that's including rights to everything that you have. You don't have that in a lot of countries. You don't have the right to free speech. You don't have the right to own a gun. You don't have the right to practice your own religion. You don't have all these freedom of expression. I think all those things are great. I think the biggest one is free speech. I think free speech is the most important thing in this country.
Oh, we're gonna get deep on that, aren't
You
we?
should be able to say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care if it hurts somebody's feelings. I don't care if it's against somebody else. I don't care if it's racist. You want those people to be able to out there and go, hey, that guy's an asshole. Let's let him be an asshole. Any of this shutting down of free speech is completely ridiculous, and it's all fucking nonsense to quiet anybody on any platform just because you're going to get your feelings hurt. And that includes people that want to say shit about me. Go ahead. Say whatever you want. You
Ugly
have the
beard, motherfucker.
Sure. I got a pussy beard
You
now.
tiny dick.
Yeah. And I'm all for it. Everybody should be able to say anything they want.
He's so self
The only way I go back on it a little bit is kids.
What? I can fucking say whatever I want about kids.
You can, but I don't think that kids should be able to attack each other like via social media.
Oh, well,
I
free
think they
speech, bro.
Well, okay, we can
That's
get into
ageist.
it. We can get into it.
Real
We
fast.
might as well just go there.
Real fast before we get into it too much, my mom keeps giving me shit because I never talk nice about her. So my honorable mention about my favorite things about
Is
America
she single?
is my mom lives here.
Is she single?
Yeah, but
Is she on what site was
Is
that?
she on our time? Because I just signed up.
her and Uncle Bob might match.
Oh, Jesus.
Talk about a nuclear war.
No.
Awkward.
No,
Anyways,
that's okay.
I just had to get that plug, and now we move on. All right.
Okay.
Where do we want to start?
Wherever you want to go. I think we were kind of getting into freedom of speech a little bit.
Yeah, why don't we just...
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. So
We both had it as our number one. I mean, more or less.
Yeah.
It was on your list.
So my, not a pushback, but the one thing that I wouldn't even say disagree, but when you say all speech should be protected, that other than kids talking trash to one another, I don't believe that to fully be the case. There's a reason slander and libel are, and then
I see
typically
what
that
you're
comes in
saying.
the
But
written
those are
form,
also legal things.
but it's also you
But that-
can't just
okay,
say
so-
whatever you want.
I think you should be allowed to lie, but I don't think you should be able to lie at somebody else's legal expense
Sure.
or
And-
criminal expense.
And again, that's probably more written than it is verbal.
Yeah.
But I mean,
don't-
it
I don't think so.
well, no, okay, so think about like criminal.
It's probably both, but I mean,
You shouldn't be able to. Okay, so you shouldn't be able to lie and say, "Hey, this guy raped me."
so let me make my point real quick, I guess.
Okay.
Is back in the day, like libel and slander, typically was written, and that's when guys would come back at you. Nowadays,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you last time someone's gone to court for saying, "Hey, Kanye West likes fish sticks." Like, no, he's not. No one's going to court for
Trump
that.
sues people all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
And he probably gets sued all the time.
Yeah.
yeah, for slander and libel.
Probably every day.
So that's why I think it's not a fully formed
Okay.
argument.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I gotcha.
I mean, but how do you stop if do you make it broad overarching? People
Let
can
me-
say whatever the hell they want,
Let
or
me tell you where my limitations would go. Where
and
criminal
tell
act-
me how you can enforce them.
okay, criminal action or like legal or financial or something like that, where you are directly lying as a freedom of speech, like, hey, this guy raped me, which you can say if you want,
That's not
but you're
illegal.
lying.
People don't go to jail for that now.
No, I know, but if somebody did go to jail for that when you were lying about it, I have a problem with that. But more or less, no, I have a problem with somebody lying about somebody raping them, and then the person who didn't rape them goes to jail because they said it was.
I had you backwards. I thought you said you had a problem with the person who lied going to jail.
No, well, I don't have a problem with that. Like, if you get caught lying and you do that.
That sounds.
But I'm saying, like, that's where it obviously comes to an end. But I think you should be able to express your opinion. I think you should be able to, if you want to say you hate every race other than yourself, you go right ahead and you do that. You're just going to look like an idiot.
No, but that could also lead to hate speech, which leads into
Well, what's hate speech?
you saying.
I think you're an idiot. Is that hate speech?
Yes. In
Yeah.
today's terms.
In today's terms, it's not. That's bullshit.
Okay, Cameron. Let's not take the super PG version. I think we all kind of understand what hate speech is. Is Jews should die, for example, or the N-word or monkeys or whatever you want to call it.
Okay, but
That's a little different than saying you're an idiot.
okay, but also, all that does is make those people look like idiots.
Yeah, but they could also. There's a lot of other idiots that form together and do bad things.
But wouldn't you want them to be all in one group so you can know, hey, don't those are all fucking idiots?
Yeah, as long as you know beforehand they're going to do something bad, but you don't really know that.
Well, I think you're taking speech. You're
Speech
you're
turns into
turning
action.
Okay, well if that's
It does.
Well, that's different. That's an entirely different thing.
But it happens. They roll into one another. People aren't fucking mimes and just going, hey, let's go to this guy's
A
house.
lot of
and
them are.
fucking-"
They're all pussies. I mean, like
They're
look
not
at like
mimes, Cameron.
I know, but like I'm saying, like if you just that's a completely different.
It all starts with speech.
Okay, then you can't have anything.
I'm not saying that. I'm just asking how you monitor it. Everything goes or nothing goes. So if everything goes, like you said,
I think everything goes.
then okay, little kids can talk shit on little kids.
Well, no,
every-
because
Why?
you can regulate minors.
You can't regulate a little kid.
You can
talking-
tell them they can't
you can't mo-
drink. You can tell them they can't.
You can't
know.
tell a little kid to not talk shit on a playground. How you
Well, I'm
gonna,
fine with that. In person, I'm good with. You're gonna say you're gonna talk shit in person. That's a
That's speech, yeah.
yeah. I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I think the problem
Instagram?
is. I think the problem is when a kid gets home and escapes school and then is still getting harassed after school. But fuck, I mean, if you're a smart enough parent, get your kid off of that shit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a freedom of speech question. I think that's a parenting question and a psychological
Yeah.
question and the health of our kids question.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't if you're gonna have true freedom of speech, you can't limit where or how that speech is. You can limit what the speech is, but you can't be like, well, if you say it verbally or it's written or it's social media or it's this, that, or the other. We have so many mediums nowadays.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be across the board as far as that goes. But I think you have to have a healthy society, at least regulate it a little bit. Like, so one question I had for you is, what about threats? What about verbal threats?
No, I think that's a different thing.
Jews should die. If I said that.
See, but an interesting thing about that.
That's a blanket statement, though.
But the interesting thing about that is comedy.
Should.
Comedy is okay.
But yeah, I mean, I'm being comedic right now. I mean, my fucking dad's Jewish, but
No, I
if
understand.
I
that,
was
but, like,
serious,
Yeah, how would
But,
you regulate that?
like comedians are protected, right? From
yeah, more or less, yeah.
no,
yeah.
like legally they're protected. I think comedy.
Really?
Yeah, I think there's like a section of the law where if you're
I didn't
under
know
a
that.
comedic umbrella, you're protected by
Which
certain-
I'm fine
certain
with.
things. That
You
may
should
have
be able to joke
changed
about
now
anything.
in today's world.
I want to know what defines a comic.
That's my question.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't. I think that's my point. Is you can't limit the mediums or how it's said or where it's said, but you can regulate, if you will, what is said. So like threats, I think they have to be.
See, I think it would
acted
have to
upon.
be a personal threat for me to like want to shut it
Well,
down.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Like a singled out, I'm gonna kill you. Versus
People do that now.
Jews versus Jews should die. I think that's just a blanket statement.
How about you?
You, Tybo,
you specific
you
Jew,
fucking
should
Jew,
die.
you Jew motherfucker, you.
Are you
Exactly.
Jewish?
No,
No, no.
but I'm just saying,
I
like
could do,
that. That's
I
a
could do the Hanukkah prayer.
that's a personal attack.
Baruch atah
All right, Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
You're good.
You know, like that's a
Shalom.
like a personal attack. I understand that, but like just I hate blacks. Like that's
No, you should be able to say that. I mean,
why is that different than? I mean,
I was playing devil's advocate.
No, I
because-
know you are.
And the reason I'm saying that is because, regardless if you know what, going back to the kids thing, it just doesn't work like that. It's either all okay or nothing's okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's either all okay or nothing's okay,
For the
well,
most part.
if I had to do that, I would do all is okay.
and that's where I would land. Now,
yeah.
now, if you make that individual
You guys
statement,
need a drink? Can I get a Corona Premier with a lime?
if I made the statement of, I'm going to kill you, Cameron Manners.
That's not okay.
That's not
That's a-
okay.
that's
and
a
you
threat.
should be able to.
That's a
Yeah,
threat.
you
That's
should
a
be able,
threat.
You should be able to be prosecuted.
Yeah, but
against.
I think that's different than.
That's free
I
speech.
think
though. I mean,
no, I don't think that is. I think that's an actual threat.
I don't think it should be protected under free speech, but
In the purest form, though, that's free speech.
it's free speech.
Oh well, yeah, open range, like yeah, complete, yeah. I understand what you're saying.
And,
yeah.
and we all understand. There's so many idiosyncrasies to this. We'd be like, I'll fucking kill you, man, like before you get in a fight. We know that's different than
Yeah.
going in on Facebook and
I think
whatever.
I think hate speech should be allowed. Obviously, I do not agree with it, but I think that's a form
It
of
also
free
shows
speech.
stupid people out to
I think
be.
Uncle Bob's on it. I don't know if you want to remember that. Yeah.
I did, yeah. but I wasn't sure if Bob was giving me one.
I'm okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
But I think, and it's going to be a gray area. That's just
Oh, of course.
Nature.
Well, yeah,
of
there's
this
obviously
topic,
going to
but,
be.
I think threats can't be allowed.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving
like,
parts.
serious threats. You can't allow that
Yeah, but I think you should be able to.
in a
I mean,
civilized society.
yeah.
Well,
Like
you know what the best example of that is? You can't yell fire or something in a crowded place. You can't yell bomb on
You
a
can.
plane.
You're just gonna go to jail for it because
But-
you're an idiot.
But that's saying you can't. I mean, that's
It's a threat.
Yeah.
you can't say you can and then there's a repercussion to it. There's a difference between free speech. But
The fact of the matter is that, and this is a really interesting conundrum, but it's a beautiful one with
thank you.
America. Thank you. Is like in the purest forms, you cannot have a society that is 100% free and civilized. In 21st century
No,
world,
20
in the
that's what I'm saying,
21st
21st
century
century,
world,
yeah.
you just can't.
Yeah, probably
so
never.
it has
There's
to
too many
be.
stupid people.
It has to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
There's
which
way
is
too many
a-
stupid people.
But it's kind of a crazy thing to think about, right? We pride ourselves on freedoms and this, that, or the other, but realistically, for us to be civilized, we can't be 100% free. That would be terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean?
But
I mean,
we
it
as a
sucks,
country have so many more freedoms than every other country.
No, I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think that one through. You can't be civilized, or you can't be. Am I getting it
You want to
backwards?
repeat it?
Yeah.
You can't be
Okay, so-
civilized with 100% freedom.
So if you look at just the 100% purity of both sides, right?
Saying we have to. There's sides that you have to monitor. It's just going to be a free for
If
all.
you're 100%
It's going to be a free for all.
free, just whatever,
Genghis Khan times.
no laws, no nothing, libertarian,
Yep.
okay? You won't be civilized in the 21st century.
Ever probably.
Right, so it's
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle of those two ends
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the spectrum. Is my point.
Well, there's,
Yeah.
I think the problem is
Agree
we're
with that.
dealing with the United States, and there's
step.
too many fucking people. If you shrink that down, you probably could, you probably could figure it out in a tribe setting.
I mean,
Like,
if you took out Alabama and Louisiana and
West-
Mississippi,
West
probably
Virginia.
he just
yeah,
wants
with-
Ohio State to win more football games.
straight up, still got Clemson to deal with, but
Yeah.
we'll get there.
Yeah, so I think that's an interesting thing with all of our freedoms. It's like I'm a full supporter of the Second Amendment, but I'm also a full supporter of regulating the Second Amendment.
Yep.
Not everyone should be able
and-
to buy a gun. That's
and
stupid.
I- Yep.
That's just ridiculous.
Yep.
As a probably the gun, I
Connoisseur.
Ice Cube guy.
completely agree. And we never really got into this on our last one, but any single person, NRA member, say what you will, if you legitimately think there should be no regulation, you're just ignorant.
Yeah, it's
You really are. You're just pandering to your side because you just want, no, fuck that. You can't
Yeah.
regulate anything. I should be able to go in it. Well, no. I mean, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
That's just really not that smart.
I think most people with an IQ above 5 would, which
Yeah, we
is-
shouldn't
Yeah.
give guns to fucking criminals.
Oh,
We
you just got
shouldn't-
out of jail, dude. Here's
yeah,
a.
yeah. You just. I mean, there's. That's
I mean,
what.
yeah. It's,
You know what
It-
I love? I love the people that are like on the far right that are like, oh, they want me to register my gun and go through all these loopholes to get it. And like, yeah, that's exactly what you should have to do.
yeah.
It's like we
Yeah,
have to
bro.
register our cars, and you have to be 16 to drive it, and you have to pass a test, and
Yep.
you have to stay up to date on that, and you can't do shit to fuck up your license, and that's exactly what it should be like.
Exactly. That was
Yeah,
really well
the registration thing is a little bit. I mean,
put. You should.
Why would
You
you?
don't think you should have
what's-
to
why do you-
register
why
your
do you
gun?
need an unregistered gun?
well,
That's just
I mean,
a-
not all guns are registered though, too. I mean,
Cameron, what
well,
are
no,
you
I
hiding?
understand that logistic issue, but like, what's the need to have an unregistered gun if you have nothing to hide?
Well, because then you get people like that own tons of guns, and they go, "Why do you own tons of guns? We're gonna come to your house."
Well, and
Well,
that's an issue. So that's
Like, why do you need to know what I have? I
And
have what I have.
I think
and
that's a
That's an
leap.
issue.
I think that's a leap though to think it would get to that point.
I don't think so.
I don't think
I think it's
so.
a good point too.
They
I
would
think-
say, "Hey, you can have one of each class of these firearms. Why do you need 10 of this class?"
yeah.
All right, so why? I don't want to get too far down the gun rabbit hole, but
Bang bang.
my,
motherfucker.
my point would be, I think that's a necessary evil as opposed to having unregistered guns just fucking floating around the country.
Well, I mean,
I understand you're a responsible gun owner.
No,
and so,
and
are,
I-
so are a lot of people. But I don't want a bunch of unregistered guns just floating around, quote unquote, the marketplace. And
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of people that do it. I don't know. That's a weird one for me.
I think
That's a weird one for
To me, the answer is, and I don't know the specifics of it, but say you got to have like certain thresholds, right? So if you own this type of gun, you have to have this paperwork. If you own
I'm cool with that.
over 10 guns, you have to,
Take this course or class or whatever.
Have an inventory of what they are and what you intend to use them for. Nothing crazy, but just like a one line. Okay, I use this shotgun for hunting. I use this handgun for protection. I use this as a collector. Whatever. It's
yeah,
just,
but what happens when you get out of those and you just say I like guns?
That's okay too. That's what.
As long as that's okay, I'm good with it.
So your issue, and I agree with it, is as long as no one comes knocking on my door like, hey, what do you got cooking in there, kind of thing. Because
but that's where the registration thing comes into a point, because the registration thing in California is getting crazy. I mean, now they're registering ammo, which is, I mean,
How many of your guns right now are
that's
registered?
a little crazy. That's
a
a
personal
question.
personal question. All of my handguns.
Who do you work for, Tybo?
I'm just asking.
No, all of my handguns. But for the longest time, long rifles you didn't have to register them. They don't have, handguns all have a VIN number, like a car.
I guess I'm at the point, and I'm being, not dishonest, but maybe I don't fully understand because I don't own guns and I don't have that passion for them like you do. But sometimes there's sacrifices that humans have to make for the greater good, and I think that.
Yeah, but I think me owning those is for the greater good.
Why do you need? Not that you have 50 guns, but why would you need 50 guns? How is that for the greater good?
What if something happens where they come and try to take our guns?
For the greater good of what?
What if something happens and they come try to take our guns?
What do you mean?
And none of my friends have guns.
What do you mean they?
Or imagine here's a scenario.
California.
Here's a scenario.
I mean, we're not that far
I'm
off.
not, if California came up and said, Cameron, we're coming for your guns, I'm not going to rush to your house and go, Cameron, give me a gun, unless you wanted me to take one for you.
Here's maybe a little bit more of a
and
realistic.
then it'd have to be registered under,
Imagine this. Okay.
Go through all of it.
So we just had a bunch of earthquakes.
Yep.
Right. Imagine the big one really does come.
Yeah.
We have no power for a few years. We can't refrigerate shit. Nothing. And I mean,
apocalyptic
I know this is a little doomsdayer,
okay.
but like
it's apocalyptic scenario. If you're
Cam-
waiting for that, then
if Cam's loaded and Cam is willing to take me in, I'm going over there and he's probably going to arm me and we're gonna live.
That is a totally different scenario than the greater good.
I know. And
I don't understand what the greater good means.
That's why I brought it up.
I don't understand what the greater good means.
I think
the greater good's different.
I
to
think
every
this is
person.
my
That's why you
this
can't
is
make
where I would say that I'm completely okay with it, right?
Completely okay with.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay. So the greater good, right?
Yeah.
Give a 6-month background check to get an AR-15.
Sure.
Look into their lives. Look
Yeah.
into every
Yeah.
single thing. I'm fine with that.
I'm
Yeah.
not disagreeing with
You
that.
know why? Okay, so then that's going to deter people from having, all these guns.
I'm totally not disagreeing with. I agree.
So
Yeah.
the greater good would not be to take away my guns.
But who's saying they're taking away your guns, bro?
You're saying
I'm not saying that.
You're
I don't
saying
want
what's
them to
the
take
point
away
of
your
having? You're
guns.
saying what's the point of having 50 guns?
No, this whole conversation. This is why I don't like getting in this gun conversation because it goes fucking 30 different ways. The original conversation was, why are you so against having your name registered to each of the guns you purchase? What's wrong with
I think
that?
it's more just because.
What's wrong with that?
I think it's more just like they go, why do you need that?
I have a theory, real fast, that might help with this. Just real fast. So I think that the majority of gun owners and people that have any type of opinion on the gun issue are somewhere in the middle, and they're reasonable people, like Cameron. So Cam, I'm going to use, you're a perfect example, I think. You're all for some regulation, that makes sense, but the majority of those people, whatever way they lean, they're afraid of the extreme left and the extreme right. Meaning, Cameron's afraid that someone's gonna knock on his door, take his guns away, whatever it may be, right? And then
Sure, and as a guy who doesn't own a gun, who is also pretty in the middle, I would say I would vote against any person who says, I'm going to take your guns. I think that's ridiculous. But I don't think it's ridiculous for me to ask you to register all your guns. I don't think anybody should come to your house and
But
say...
it's not out of the realm, because look at the weed thing, right? So California made weed legal, right? People growing weed in California.
Weed was illegal before it was legal. Guns have always been legal, so I don't know if I agree with that.
It still works.
It has always been legal to own a gun.
Okay, but it still works. It becomes legal in California. I'm growing weed, right?
No, it doesn't work. One was illegal and not regulated federally.
Okay, so say the weed farm started after it became legal in California. It's a legal thing to do.
Is it legal federally?
Okay, so you're saying you're breaking the law every time you smoke weed.
No, because the state.
That's what I'm saying. It's legal in the state. The federal government can
You're-
still come
you're-
in
you're-
and steal all the guns.
No, because it's protected under the fucking Bill of Rights, dude. What are you talking about? That's a federal.
But you're telling, okay, I'm just going off to the fringe, just like he's saying.
That's my
there's
point.
no,
There's
no,
two
there's,
fringes that are affecting the sensible middle, and that's the problem with the whole argument. And that's why we can't come to a sensible middle, is because we have the right and the left on two extreme ends. They're both stupid and wrong.
well, I also think, yeah, I do think both sides are stupid and wrong. But the problem is registering a gun is not going to stop what you want it to.
I don't think it is, but I don't see what
That's
the issue
true.
is. I don't think
That's true too.
It's not going to stop anything that you think it's going to stop.
I
But
never
it'll
said it
stop
would.
So why give that up? In the
What are you scared of? That the big bad boy's gonna take your gun? The big bad government's gonna take your guns?
It's not that far off. It's not a crazy thought.
Who-
That's what I was saying. They went into legal operations growing weed, and they shut that shit down and stole all their money.
Federal agents went
Fine.
into state-regulated.
Okay, so
areas.
let me flip you that. California doesn't want guns.
Sure,
They don't want guns.
Sure.
I live in California,
sure.
right? So
you know-
I have to abide by the state's laws.
If that person is elected, yeah.
Okay.
No one's gonna
And-
elect that. I mean, maybe.
We got Gavin Newsom, who's a fucking. I mean, we're not that far off.
If all right, I mean, maybe you. I mean, if you're
We're
really that
registering ammo now. Like that. You know how crazy that is?
I think it's a great idea. Chris Rock had that great joke. He said, "You know what?
Yeah,
You
you
should-
buy one bullet. I get
for-
it.
for
Yeah, I understand
$1,000.
that. But it's just like, it's just another way to
No, I know guns-
invade your privacy.
I know guns are a touchy subject for you, and
No, and it's not touchy.
You're paranoid, but
I'm not paranoid at all. You know who does not going to take my guns? Fucking people without guns. All you lefties that think you're coming to take my guns,
That needs to be
go
a
good
shirt.
fucking luck.
I don't think
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking activists are gonna go try to take your guns.
You know why they're not? Because they don't have guns.
No, obviously,
Yeah.
but
No, I'm just saying, like it's like give an inch, they take a mile. So I'm gonna give inches at a time.
On
and
both sides,
I'm
on both
on both sides, and I'm completely fine. I'm not some crazy right wing NRA, no regulations.
I know you're not. I know
But
you're
I
not.
should be able to do what I want in the comfort of my own home if I'm not breaking the law.
I agree with that.
I totally agree.
But there still has to be regulation.
For
And
sure,
I think
that's
we all-
fine.
I, think
I
we all
don't
agree
think
with that.
everybody
I'd
should own
agree
an
with that.
AR-15,
I'd agree with that.
but I should own
agree.
however many I want.
So,
No, I'm good with it. I'm good. I'm fine.
I love it. It's
so should we
fun.
talk about how beautiful our country is in geography?
Geography.
Yeah, you guys both kind of had diversity, and you both had geography.
I mean, yeah, the geography. I don't think we need to talk about too much.
No,
but
I
I
think
think we
that's
are. We're
self-explanatory.
super spoiled. Like, we have some
Coastlines,
most
we have,
beautiful.
Fucking
We're
Grand
probably the most
Canyon.
beautiful country.
Yeah.
All in
I don't
all.
know. Man of Mexico could get their shit together. They are fucking beautiful. Mexico's
Yeah, but-
coastline is unbelievable.
Yeah, but they blew it.
They're never gonna get it together.
And we have coastline. We have forest. We got.
Oh
everything.
yeah, we have it all.
We got it all.
Yeah, we got it all. Just in California too. California kicks ass.
That's
we
the
got
thing.
mountains. We
I
got
mean,
beach. We
That's
got
why we pay 13%
got-
income tax.
yeah.
You could do Northern California and Southern
Yeah,
California. as
redwoods,
two
yeah,
totally different
yeah.
states. Like it,
It really is.
but yeah. So I mean, Grand Canyon. Everyone fucking knows the landmarks. But yeah, what's your? So I said
God, I wish I remember what you said. I didn't
about
write it down.
Who?
Diversity. I put a big one next to Tybo.
I got
for
it.
me. I said
Oh no, you said
people and food.
Suck it,
no,
righties or something.
No, you said we're built on immigrants.
A country of immigrants. Yep.
Completely agree.
Yeah, we are a country
When
of
do
immigrants.
when do you max out as a country?
Oh, that's a really good. I think I heard it on a podcast the other day. It's like, you know who it was? It was fucking Joey Diaz. He goes,
Oh yeah, that's
maybe
good.
we got too many fucking people. It's like, yeah, you know what? You might not
So
be wrong.
that was my question. Is
yeah.
like I'm all for. This is my thing that I've always said. The problem I have with the right is they're all going to be Bible thumpers, which is fine. Do your
Yeah.
thing. But the first Bible thumper I hear that goes, I hate Mexicans. Where does it say in the Bible that you're just allowed to hate people because
Yeah.
they're not from where you're at? I
Doesn't.
get it. There's definitely criminals. There's definitely bad people. But there's a lot of people that are just trying to better their lives.
And work hard.
And work hard.
Yeah.
And do jobs that we're not going to do.
Yeah.
Now, after that little gun debate, and now we're talking about this at the
We're hitting
At-
hot topics.
at the risk of seeming like I'm super far left, but I mean, if you get, and none of us know the numbers, out of the people that come from Canada and Mexico, let's just take those two countries, because Canadian people come in the border fucking
We'll take 'em.
at will. It seems to only be the brown people we care about. But how many, fuck it, let's just go Mexicans. How many Mexicans do you think are really gang-banging drug dealers versus those that are just trying to attempt to get a better life? And I understand that there's repercussions, they don't pay taxes, and I get all that.
Percentage-wise,
Percentage-wise, yeah. Should you go 80-20, 90-10, 95-5?
I think it's probably like 80-20.
I was gonna say 75-25.
You think it's that high?
I think there's more people that want to, more people. So 3 out of 4 want to come over here and just do better for their families.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, I've been to Mexico a lot of times. I go down there to a nice golf resort. Go to a bar, and the guy goes, "I make $18 a week."
Yeah, it's
Like
crazy.
that guy driving, delivering your pizza.
Yeah, on the fucking moped, driving down dirt road, and I gave him a $10 tip, and he couldn't fucking believe it. But I think there are people that just want to come suck off the fucking system.
Okay,
So 1 out of 4.
okay, so that's a different way of thinking about it that I wasn't thinking of, but not a criminal, but they're just
No,
freeloaders.
I would say freeloaders and
That's different.
freeloaders and criminals make up 1/4 of that population.
Okay.
But I also don't think we should have to take care of the other 3 out of 4. I don't think that we are financially stable enough. I don't think that we are, resource stable enough.
Talk about the greater good.
Yeah, the greater good. I even said on the last one, make everyone who here is legal, everybody. If you're here, you made it. You
You're
fucking
in.
did it, man. Way to go. After that, shut that
You're
shit
a
down.
good athlete. We need you
Shut-
for the
yeah,
Olympics.
shut it down. Close it down. Other than crazy, extenuating we're maxed out. We got too many.
So, does that include every other country?
Sure. I don't
Italy,
fucking care.
Canada?
Yeah, it has
Sure.
to.
It's got to be, right?
Unless you're
You gotta-
unless you're offering something. If you're coming with capital, that's what they did for the
Chinese.
They came over. They said, "You want to start a business?" They got 12 visas or.
EB-12 money, I think, is what it was called.
But they got 12. Is it 12 visas or 10 visas or something like
I
that?
don't- I
If you
don't
put
know.
$500,000 into a business in the United States, you
Yeah.
got X
Boom.
amount of visas.
You're done.
And
Tax free, by the way.
Yeah, and I mean,
I
I'd rather have people coming that are going to invest in the country than they is not going to.
Yes, please. Thank you.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't have the answers because
Nobody does.
No.
I don't.
I'm idealistic.
I think it's
though,
funny. I
guess
think
at
it is
the-
funny that they think the wall is going to stop them. They already showed them like, dude, we could dig holes,
Bro.
We could fucking
Bro.
fly drones. We're going to do whatever the fuck we want.
It's tough, man.
I'm close to what you think, and I think you'll probably agree once I expand on it a little bit more, but I don't think you can just say everyone that's here stays. I don't.
No, there's obviously going to be the registered fucking people that we know are assholes here.
Right, and so you obviously get rid of them. I think anybody whose kids were born here,
The dreamers or
well, no, not them, but their parents,
Parents get to stay.
under certain circumstances.
Yeah.
You got to give them a path to citizenship, and
Yep.
it'll be strict.
Yep,
Okay. You
that's
got to
fair.
learn English. You got to do
I'm fine
this.
with that.
You obviously can't commit crimes. I mean, that's really kind
show
of
your tax returns.
this citizenship test and all that bullshit. That's stupid. Get that out of here. But you got to be able to pay taxes, not be a criminal, know a certain amount of English just to communicate and
Okay.
be able to I'm not saying
That
they
was-
need to write an English book.
Yeah,
or
that was gonna be
anything
my
like that.
pushback. Yeah.
No, just if you can, and that could be as simple as sitting down with someone and having a 25-minute conversational test.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just can we communicate? Because that is for the greater good of our country and the progression of our country. Now, the moment you have a slip up, an assault, DUI.
Oh, yeah, later.
No, I'm not talking a speeding ticket, but you're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
You're gone
You're out.
for a certain amount of time. You got to be on your best behavior. You got to be working hard.
Yeah, but
Because you need, in my mind, and this is a little bit.
I just don't know how you get
fucked
back
up,
in.
admittedly, you got to earn to be in this country. And I know I didn't. I was very fortunate because I was just born here. But at the same time,
Sorry,
we have a
life's
limited.
not fair.
We have a limited amount of resources, like you were saying, a limited amount of space, everything, and so it's just the way it has to be. Then
I don't think it has to be that way.
Well,
so
we
you're
can't.
just-
We can't financially. I
You
mean,
think it should just
it's
be
not
free
possible.
borders?
We've been in. No. No, I don't think anybody should just fucking come
Okay, good.
fucking Shanghai running here and not paying taxes and
That's
send
my
their children
biggest.
to school.
That's my biggest one is taxes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Dude,
No, I
I,
agree.
okay, so I go to Home Depot, Lowe's quite a bit.
yeah, you see the guys out there.
Okay,
just-
so no, not those guys.
Well,
Right?
they
I
are
see
out there.
guys. No, they're working. They're fine, and that's at least I'm fine with those guys.
But they're not
the
paying
problem.
taxes.
The problem I have is I work hard. I make a good amount of money. I can't afford a $100,000 truck. Maybe I could. It'd be stupid, but I can't.
Yeah,
You know who
no.
can? Guys working for cash, not paying 30% in taxes. I'm not okay with that. I'm like,
Yeah,
dude,
I agree.
what the fuck is this? You got a brand new F-350, like
Just pay your dues.
just and that's fine. If you just pay your 30% or whatever we do, and we make a flat tax, whatever it is, I'm totally fine. Let's get more people here. Let's have more money in the pool.
Let's be honest. Those guys, I totally agree. No one should be fucking living in America not paying
Freeload, yeah.
taxes. You should not be, and that it free. Just I'm picking nits here, but like freeloading. A lot of those guys work hard and they may not be paying taxes and whatever. That's not. I don't think that was your point, but at the same time, I think most of us would probably agree that if we're gonna stick to Hispanics, like a lot of people that are crossing the border, working very arduous and
Yeah,
jobs
strawberry picking, yeah,
strictly
doing-
revolved around labor, are jobs no Americans want to do. White
for
Americans,
sure.
white
Oh, yeah,
Americans,
yeah.
black Americans, whatever. So
Yeah.
how do you? I mean, those people, you're not going to find a person that's paying taxes willing to do that job for $8 an hour, and you're not
$12 an hour.
You're sure as hell not going to pay them $12 an hour because there's hundreds of them.
You
and you're-
will. It
and
will just. It will just
it'll tank
change.
your
It'll
business.
change the
it'll
thread.
Rise,
Okay,
it'll
but-
rise the prices that you're having to pay for tomatoes to sustain your
Yeah,
But
businesses.
the back end is going to be better because I'm still going to be getting that money back to
But-
put into, the welfare that we're paying for right now.
But realistically, there's a
Are they
problem.
cash and welfare?
Fuck yeah, they can.
There's a problem with that argument, in that people that are making minimum wage aren't paying taxes.
No, they really don't.
They're getting returns. Okay, they're not really paying taxes. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's that's an example of a win-win. They're documented. They come over here. They're making way more than what they did in their country, and they're. I'm fine with that. You don't pay taxes because just like
You only make-
someone
yeah.
that was born here, if they made the same amount, they wouldn't be paying taxes. I think what Cameron has an issue with, and we all probably do, is the guy that's making 100, 130 G's as a landscaper. Great for him. He's entrepreneurial. He's working his ass off, but he should be paying his taxes.
Yeah. And
That-
he can also
that's the
undercut.
issue.
He can
So-
undercut a guy with a legitimate construction
Yeah.
tax identification.
I'm ignorant to
No,
landscaping.
he has
Does that
taxed-
happen a lot? A guy
Oh, it
making
happens tons.
Well, it
150
happens.
G's is undocumented. That happens a lot.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Does it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow.
Because you think about it. Okay, so
Any
great
cash,
example.
any
My buddy
cash.
Kyle. His dad owns a plastering and siding.
Uh huh.
So he can go in, licensed, pays his taxes to have that license, goes in, bids a job.
Okay.
So and so can go in there and bid it 50% less and make 30% more.
Yeah,
because
he's
he has
not
to
paying
pay
it-
his
yeah.
employees.
Yep.
Yeah, so think about it. So if I pay you $20 an hour
No, I get it.
to
You're
work,
gonna dumb it down. I
I'm
get it.
really
I get the point.
I'm really paying you $40 an hour when it
No, I
comes to
get it.
workman's comp and all that, all that shit.
Yep.
They can just go and, hey, I'm gonna pay you $10 an hour, $10 an hour, $10 an hour, and they're gonna do the job, and it's gonna be, and they can just undercut and undercut and
And
undercut, and you're
And the guy
cutting
that-
off the legs of the hard, like
and the
the
guy that runs that business is undocumented.
undocumented.
Right, and here's the double whammy: is you get a situation like that, and he's also getting welfare.
Yeah,
and
double
all
dipping.
all the other
You
types of
think
things.
that happens a lot?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Really?
he's driving
Oh, yeah.
around in a Dodge
yeah.
3500.
Like, you guys see it all the time, or like, how do you know
Oh, I
that
talked to
happens?
Kyle's dad for like fucking 10 minutes.
Really?
I mean, he's had a Bremer plastering for 30 plus years. He's a hard ass working dude, and he's like, I'm getting undercut left and right.
So I don't have any anecdotal evidence to that
I was
or
gonna say,
statistical.
You guys are like super, like, it happens all the time. That's crazy.
Oh, it happens a lot.
I can't believe that.
okay,
lot.
Tybo, you're being a little sarcastic.
No, I mean,
No, you are,
I'm.
but
No,
here-
it does
here-
happen.
Here's my argument: if you were able to do that, would you do it? The answer is yes, yes, and yes.
To better my family?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
way better.
And
Yeah.
and so you
I'd
know
murder that other guy.
You know it's happening, and because the system allows it, and I can't necessarily blame them.
No,
If I
but
was in their
but if we
situation,
had a
I'd do the same
but if we
thing.
had a system to help
I don't
them
know if
out,
Correct.
I don't know if I'm willing to just say, fuck yeah, do that and do
Thank you.
welfare and go for 150K. I don't know if I'd do that.
Yeah,
Like,
you would.
That's not for bettering your family. That's you trying to get rich.
If you
Like,
had
that's
8
totally
fam-
different
if
thing.
you
yeah,
had-
but if you're looking at the country like they're attacking you,
And you had 8 family members back in Mexico that relied on the money that you sent home, you'd 100% do that.
A lot of different factors
And
that
you
just got
should do
thrown at
that.
me. Okay, sure. If it's me
Yeah.
and my family of 4, wife and $2, I don't
you'd
know
still
if
do
I'd
it.
that. I don't know if I would.
You would.
Feels scummy.
Well,
then
you
you're-
would feel scummy because you're paying right now.
You're a
if
better
you
man.
never had that experience and you just go, I just keep getting money. I don't understand. Like, if you're blind to it, then what are you?
Yeah,
gonna,
they may
I mean,
not even know that they're doing it. That's just
Yeah.
how they.
Yeah, maybe.
You
Yeah,
know?
that's a good point.
And
yeah, they may
like
not
I
know
said,
they're doing
I
it.
don't blame those guys necessarily. They're
Yeah.
entrepreneurial. They're working hard. I actually love that about them.
And those aren't the guys I want gone. Those are the guys I want here, and those are the guys I want
yeah,
to get
just document
construction licenses, and I want them
Yeah.
to do better for themselves, like, and just actually be,
It. Yeah.
not have to pay cash for everything.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
I want
make
you
it-
to be able to,
And I totally agree. No
Yeah.
one should not have to
Yeah.
get the bite out of their ass that the 3 of us get
Yep.
taken. Like,
but we
I
have to
get it.
we have to max out on people. There
Yeah.
has to be a max out on
It's
people.
just-
What number that is, I don't have any. I have no fucking clue.
I don't even know how
Yeah.
you even begin to start
yeah,
regulating
I don't
that.
know how you do it.
I don't think
but-
that's even possible. I don't think you could put a cap.
Okay, let's go to a little bit of a lighter one before we go back to a deep one.
Are you talking about the dream?
Cam,
Yes, sir.
you're number 3, capitalism.
Yes.
One, I love it, but just a light thought from both of you. Maybe light, maybe not. We'll see where it goes. The women's soccer team. So we are the World Cup champions.
We are.
Champions,
Very proud
baby.
of that. But
We are.
a lot is being made of them, their bonuses being like 6 times less what the men's bonuses are if they make it to a certain point. And
Yep.
their pay and all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious what your guys' take is on all that.
My whole thing is how much money's coming in, who's watching it, if they have the same amount of people watching it, if they have the same amount of views and whatever that means for TV contracts, if maybe they need better representation. Maybe that's not. I mean, maybe they just need to get better lawyers.
Possibly.
Maybe they. I don't know the ins and outs of that.
Yeah,
to
to
tell
answer
you the
it,
truth,
yeah.
I don't know a whole
I
bunch
don't know
about
if
it.
you want to take that,
But I think that if they're bringing in as much money should
They
be
are.
going out.
they are. Revenue's the same.
If the
Revenue percentage.
Are you positive of that? What do you mean
Yeah.
by revenue percentage?
They, from what I heard, and I fucking hate soccer, so I'm going off of what I heard on Dan Patrick.
Dan's a
But-
trusted source.
Yeah. So
Chris Broussard over there. I got sources.
okay, I don't
Fuck
like
Chris-
Chris
Also,
Broussard.
fuck Kawhi. Okay, go ahead.
I love that guy.
From what I heard, and again, I'm not, I'm not an econ fucking soccer guy, but the way they explained it was the revenue, whether it was straight up revenue numbers, net, gross. It's got to be net, I would have to assume, but I don't know if it was strictly net or a percentage of kind of the way we were talking about crime numbers in Amsterdam versus
boy.
LA. He's gone. We can talk about it.
Oh boy.
But the way I understood it was the women bring in comparatively just as equal to the men. So I think they pulled in
This year they did, you mean?
for the yeah, and that's the thing I don't know. I don't know if it was World Cup versus World Cup, and then that may be skewed because they're in the championship, the men weren't. I don't know. But if that's the case, if they are truly equal, then yeah, dude, the women should get paid the same exact amount. I feel like it's pretty black and white. Most women's sports, I would say, kick rocks, and I totally, it's not even close. I self-admittedly hate soccer. Watching the women is infinitely more fun than watching the men. They don't dive. They're better looking. Sorry, whatever. But it's just more fun to watch them. It just feels like a more competitive game. But if they're bringing in the same revenue and the same dollars and the splits are all equal, there is zero reason why they shouldn't get paid the same.
Yeah.
Does anybody know why they don't get paid the same? Bad
well,
negotiations.
no,
I don't know.
I'd really like to know the specifics of the stat that you were talking about, Tybo, because
me too. I could try to look it up.
I think we want to
Try
see
to
like
look
if
it
they
up.
brought in 100 million, guys brought in 100 million, and they are making 10 and the guys are making 50, then I mean,
Yeah, because
that just sounds like bad negotiation to me.
well,
That sounds like bad representation.
I'm curious what Tybo finds because our men's team is not as good as our women's team. Like, it's not even close. Our men's team is garbage.
Well,
Trash.
that's because men in the United States play real sports.
Well, I think I have another theory on that.
Well, we can
I'll-
afford to play real sports.
Well, no, let me say this real fast, and then we'll get in once Tybo, or while Tybo's looking for that. I mean what I'm about to say with as much respect as I possibly can, just as a fact. Our women's team is so good is because other countries in the world, women just started playing soccer. They just
Well-
started voting 10 years ago.
Oh,
Or,
yeah,
like,
for
in some
sure.
places can't drive.
We're advanced for sure when it
So,
comes to the women.
When you look at the Women's World Cup, it's always the same ones. It's us, France, the Netherlands, and England.
advanced countries.
Those are always the
more or
ones
less.
because-
Socially advanced.
Because they've been playing longer.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes sense. You have a bigger pool to draft to, not draft or recruit from, but like people that actually, girls that play soccer and things like that. So relatively, we are going to be better. And at some point, the rest of the world's going to catch up because we're terrible
Well,
at
plus
soccer.
if you think about it, like the pure logistics of it, like our women have access to so much more than a lot of countries.
Yeah, but you can say that about our men, and we're garbage.
Well, it's because I mean, soccer is not important to men here. It's not. It's never going to be. If you're good at soccer, you're going to play in Europe.
Right.
Like it's not important to the people.
But
here.
you'd still play for America on the World Cup. It's just there's less guys that play soccer.
Yeah, but there's also okay. So we can go back because United States.
Washington Post has the worst website ever for mobile, by the way. Just want to shout that out.
Okay, so if you think about it, what you just said about the women playing soccer for so long here, the men in other countries have been playing soccer for so long there, and we are pretty new to soccer, I would assume, because we're a new country and we don't
Well-
give a fuck about soccer.
Well, no, because no,
Soccer is becoming popular now because people are getting hit in the head in football and getting concussions.
I think so, but I think the argument for the men is completely different because for the women, women weren't able to play any sports or vote or drive in other countries for a long time, so the competition is a lot less. For the men's side, soccer is a poor man's sport, meaning all you need really is a ball.
A ball, yeah.
That's it.
No, that's what I'm saying. So third world countries that are good, they've been playing forever.
Well, not that they've been. I don't think it's a time thing, and I might be nitpicking here, but it's just more people play it because it's more accessible.
Yeah.
Like
You need one ball.
for baseball, you gotta at least have a bat. And, you hear about
Yeah,
guys playing
stick
with sticks
ball,
and,
yeah.
and stones, but it's just
We're civilized.
soccer is a very
Boring game.
no. Well, yes, but societally, I don't think that's a word. Fuck it. But it's kind of it's a mirror of the societies that they come from. It's kind of an interesting
Well,
thing.
that's okay. So
Never really thought about
so I have a daughter. She's young. The first thing she did, play soccer. You know why?
Yikes.
Because everybody can play soccer.
Right. Right.
You know what everybody can't do? Can't shoot a basketball.
Hit a baseball.
Can't hit a baseball. Can't take a hit on the football field.
Yeah.
You know what you can do? I can tell Elle every single time, kick that fucking ball. You know what she's gonna do?
Kick the ball.
Every single time she's gonna kick that ball.
Do you find it, Tybo?
That's why when people try to compare golf and soccer to me, I just want to go,
Who the hell does that?
everybody who's a soccer fan.
Yeah, a lot of
And they go,
What?
there's this and this and this. Like, get the fuck out of here. You tell me, okay, so let's just say you tell me to go out there and kick that ball 100 times. Out of 100, I'm going to kick it every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, soccer guy, come on over to golf. Come on over, guy. I'll give you 100 swings. I bet you don't make contact 50, and I bet the other 50, you don't hit it 100 yards.
You shake.
You shank it. Yeah, you're terrible.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Do you find it, Tybo?
Yeah. So I mean, I was trying to. I was kind of speed reading, but I'll just kind of blow through this. Overall, from the fiscal year of 2016 to 2018, the women's games generated 900,000 more revenue than the men's games. In the year following the 2015 World Cup
900,000
win,
seems so low.
women's games generated 1.9 million more than the men's games. Now, I know that seems low, Cameron, the 900,000, but I think their annual operating budget is
$60.
Donation based. Well,
It is 101.4 mil, so that is pretty significant. But the fact still stands. If they're generating more revenue
They
in a
should.
single year,
They should get paid
and
the
they're making $2 million more in 2 to 3 year period. I mean, the fact that they get point, I think it was. I don't want to fuck it up. It should be equal.
Okay, so-
or at least fucking
So,
close.
so what I read is, okay, so the problem with that stat is it's over a few years, and the women played more games, right? So that's not a per game. That's not a per game stat.
So the USF points out that this calculation extended to fiscal 2015, which would include the men's World Cup cycle. The men's
Right.
team brought in 10.8 million more than the women. For the current World Cup
Well, there you
cycle,
go.
the women's team's more likely to have a higher revenue since they won the championship while the men failed to qualify.
Does anybody know what the ratings were for like the last World Cup game or not?
So
like
all I can
8
tell you,
million or
all I
something
can
like
tell
that.
you is that
That's a lot.
when it's the
US.
men's World Cup, from game one, we're busy here. Okay, we were busy for 3 of the games here.
Now,
for the women's.
now, can I kind of rebut that a little bit? I guess. Weren't the men playing at a better time slot to where you could have more customers? Because weren't the women playing like
8
almost
a.m.,
exclusively
yeah,
like at
7
10 to
a.m.
12?
No,
The women
No.
I know for sure this year were playing at like 10 a.m., 12 p.m.
like noon. Yeah, that's a really good time
Really?
for a bar. Yeah,
Yeah, for a bar it is. But
The-
also,
the men
I would
were,
say
like,
I would say that
9 a.m.
this climate we live in here, we have a soccer facility down the street that is enormous.
Yeah.
That place is fucking huge. I mean, there's massive soccer tournaments and shit there. So that could, I guarantee you go to Middle America, there's not one person watching the girls or the guys.
You think so?
Soccer's not a fucking thing.
Dude,
anywhere.
they're building a brand new soccer stadium in Nashville.
Nashville's pretty advanced, pretty up to date though.
Yeah.
That's like saying you're building in Austin, they're
So you're talking about like
the
Broken
small,
Arrow, Oklahoma,
There's baseball and there's football.
and basketball. Hoosiers. You've never seen Hoosiers? Come on, man.
I mean,
Tybo hates all things
Yeah.
Indiana. Probably.
I'm just saying, if they are bringing the same amount of money, for sure they should. I don't watch men's soccer. I also don't watch women's, but I watch the women's play just because there's hot chicks on there. I like to watch America win, and the guys suck, and it sucks to watch America lose to Mexico.
Yes.
It bothered me.
No, I agree.
It bothered me. There was one guy at stadium rooting for Mexico, and had I not been working at stadium and known stadium, I would have had words with him.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
and that just bothered me. So
no. I
that's
hear,
why I don't watch men's soccer on because there is. I heard Tybo saying this when I got back. I didn't see one girl the entire time in the USA game flop and roll around on the ground and fucking flop around like
No,
a fish.
I-
They did not one time. I had this argument with somebody that was a soccer fan. They go, they all flop. It's part of the game. I said, I didn't see one. The only girl I saw go down for real, she had blood coming out of her fucking face.
I do agree that the women are more fun to watch. So here's the point that I want to make is because what I saw, the article that I read said that their bonuses for getting to certain games were 6 times less than the men.
Yeah,
Okay.
significantly
That
less.
just sounds
So-
like bad representation to me.
I don't think so. I think here's the
There
thing.
has to be.
Here's
I
the
don't
thing.
Hey, you know what you do? You fucking strike. You don't show up to the last game for the World Cup. I know you want to win. I know you want your trophy. You know how you fix that problem? You strike. Look at what hockey did. Look at what everybody else does. They strike.
No, that'll never happen.
Yeah,
Footballs
okay.
try to do it, and they don't, and
But-
they
okay,
can never
but-
get it
But
done.
they're a single entity. They're not a NFL. They're a single team. They can do that shit. They're they are on their own.
Here's my point. Here's my point is that it should all be relative. So the stat that you said is the men actually made like almost $11 million more.
Yeah, but that's not including what the numbers are going to be for this World Cup, so it's kind of
So we'll
diluted
call that a
also.
wash.
I hope
Yeah.
it's a lot.
We'll call that a wash.
I hope they make a lot of money. They won like 4 out of the last 5 or something.
They should. So
Yeah.
They
based
should and won't.
based on what is brought in, their salary should be relative. They should be the same, like percentage wise.
I would say, okay, so
Yeah.
that's a great.
Yeah.
Soccer is the only game that you can say that though,
Yeah, I know.
because that's the ultimate like equalizer. I would say, because WNBA versus NBA, it's not close.
Yeah.
Softball versus baseball or whatever you want to do. Like soccer is the one that you're like, they're pretty close.
yeah,
I mean,
they're actually could make an argument that like we've said, the women are more fun. But My point is that the bonuses per game, I'd argue that 6 times the amount of people watch the men.
Well, if that's the case,
Per
I'm
game.
fine with it.
Right, and that's my
If
point.
if it's all numbers and they figure out that there's more people
Yeah.
watching the men's, I'm totally fine with that.
And I would
Per game, because we're talking about per game bonuses. So I'm not talking about the totality made over the course of 2 years.
they don't give
because,
per game bonuses though.
Yeah, they do.
No, they do per round.
Yeah, they do.
It's the
just
same
like,
thing with the Wimbledon.
Win or loss.
Win or loss, yeah. It's
Like if you
it's
get to
per
the
round.
if you
it's
get
like
to the quarterfinals,
yeah, it's
like
X
the men
amount
make
of
like
dollars.
$500,000 if you get to the semifinals.
It's like that Coco chick, the Wimbledon chick. She made like 300.
yeah.
That's a different sport. But
220.
what I'm saying is, so the men didn't qualify last year.
Right.
They get paid for each game they lost. How do you get a bonus for
Well,
losing?
No,
no,
I think
no,
I think
no,
he's talking
time out.
about World Cup ratings.
It's just like for baseball. Like you get paid your salary, and if you make the playoffs, everyone on the team gets a bonus.
No,
And if you
no,
make
that's my only question. I said win or lose. You guys said yeah. So
no,
you
win
get-
or lose, you get it.
yeah,
I
but
think.
not in pool play. Like you got to get out of pool play.
That's my point. Yeah, yeah.
So
that's my
the,
point.
the argument in the article that I wrote, or read, not wrote, but is that
You wrote an article?
I know the game bonuses to reach a certain threshold
yeah,
were 6 times more, and so my thought is if that's 6 times the amount of people watch it and there's 6 times the amount of revenue for the per game stuff, it should be that is what it is. That's a supply and demand.
I would-
thing.
I
That's
would-
economics.
in my-
But their salaries should be the same, meaning
Oh,
if-
I don't know about that.
not the same percentage wise, the same.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
And
I
that
think
goes-
it's all
that
based
goes
on
the other,
views
that
and
goes the other
income.
way, by the way. If
Yeah.
the women are there's more income from them, they should be paid more.
Absolutely. That's my whole thing. It makes no difference how
gotta
much
pee
money
real
each
bad.
how much money each one's paid, as long as it's the money is coming in and the percentage going out is so say there's 100 times more.
but let's try
people
to
wa-
use realistic numbers because I don't believe that men draw 6 times more than women.
I don't know that. That's what he was saying.
8 million people watch. Are you telling me?
But I think what he's saying though.
48 million are watching.
I think
the
what he's
fucking
saying
men's
though.
World
Okay,
Cup?
so say the men
Called
are
bullshit.
okay. So say the men are playing fucking Egypt, right?
And no, more people will watch for Mo Salah than they will for the U.S.
That's
soccer
what I'm saying.
fans.
So I don't know if that goes into the
Definitely,
views
yeah.
of the men's,
Probably not,
where they can
yeah.
go, how many women's fucking, soccer fans are watching from a different country
Yeah.
when the countries they're playing,
Yeah,
the Netherlands and shit like that. There's the population is tiny. So I think all you have to do is go, okay, this is how many people are watching. This is the price per view or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Put a numerical or a
it-
monetary value on it and go. We pay out 20% of this to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And
so
then-
many.
and
There's
then
so many. There's so many factors that I mean.
You would have to know the
That's the thing,
viewership
that's-
and shit like that, and
that's
none of
why-
us do.
Yeah, that's why I don't like talking about this because I don't know the numbers. But the only one number right about, I can't imagine 6 times more watch
That
than
men are
women.
better than women. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm
just kidding.
saying the women. I think they drew what I saw today was 8 million. 8 million for the World Cup finals.
Okay.
The highest rated NFL game this year was on Thanksgiving, and that drew
3 million.
25.
25 million?
It was
25.
more than the
Oh,
Super Bowl.
yeah.
25.
Wow.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
So if 48 million people are watching men's soccer, I'll lay down.
That might be true though.
48 million in America?
No, not America.
This is U.S. only, bro.
No, but there's views on other countries.
U.S. only.
Oh, U.S. only. Nobody's watching soccer.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
watching
No.
8 million U.S. only.
I don't know.
I guarantee they don't. Do you think they do 23 million, which would have been the 3rd highest rated NFL game this year?
No.
I don't know.
No. I don't
My-
know.
Yeah.
How many people? How many people buy like pay-per-view for like UFCs and shit?
Depends on what it is.
Yeah, it
but
depends on the fight, but nowhere close to.
I think the argument is that it all needs to be proportional, whatever way it is.
Yes.
No,
yes.
that's what I said when you left.
You know, if
that's
it's
what I
like-
said when you left.
if
Whatever the
it's-
income is, it needs to be the output.
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Say they make 20%, 30%.
That's exactly what I said,
Whatever
yeah.
it is. And like I said before, I went to the bathroom. If the women make
Thank
more,
you.
then that's awesome. They should.
I'm sorry, Mitzi. You're gonna
Thank
hate
you.
me. Yeah. Can I? Thank you.
Yeah.
But I totally.
It just
agree.
needs to be proportional.
I totally agree.
No,
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
for
I'm
sure.
totally fine with that.
It's just like anything else with income inequality. Like,
Yeah, and that's why I gave that weird face
How did it start?
earlier
Capitalism?
when Cameron. Yeah, somehow. But That's why I give a weird face because Cameron, you said like WNBA, fuck them. If they should get proportionally what they bring in.
Do you know what an average WNBA player makes?
$20 an hour? I don't
No.
know.
I bet
Look
it's
at-
like 100,000 maybe.
They make dog shit. It's crazy.
Dude, I looked it up. Okay, let me look it up just again so I can be sure. I want to
It's
say
real-
it's 30.
probably-
I want to say it's $36,000 a year.
No
It's
way.
it's super bad.
Well, no one watches it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just supply and demand. That's simple.
And I
economics.
agree.
It is
Yeah,
what
that
it
it
is.
should
Like,
be just straight up.
The WNBA should probably not.
Okay,
be
so
there.
last year
It's not good.
was 71. But I'm pretty sure I looked this
better.
up. I'm pretty sure I looked this up like
That's terrible.
3 or 4 years ago, and it was like $36,000 a year.
That's terrible. You know, and I love the push that the NBA is trying to make with the WNBA of like, they
Inclusion.
take the NBA guys and they have them do commercials like, oh, they got skills, they got handles, and they do. Like they're
No, they're good.
they're
I mean,
good
they're
athletes
fucking good.
in
They
their
will.
arena. They're good
Yeah.
athletes, but
Yeah.
the problem is
Nobody
is
wants to watch layups.
it's not entertaining.
No.
It's
No,
like
it's not.
watching middle school basketball. Like
Yeah.
it's
You know who
not
goes to
fun.
that? Guys that go and beat off in the bathroom. They
Creepers.
go in there and they look and then they go, okay, I got it, number
Brittany
17,
Griner.
and they just go and they fucking yank off in the bathroom.
Imagine jerking off to Brittany Griner.
Hey man, she eats their own.
Hey, yeah.
I'm
She-
about to join ourtime.com.
She
and I'm
probably
fucking,
whoop all our asses.
Yeah.
Oh, she
Yeah.
would fucking.
Us three versus her, she probably gets us
I don't know.
in basketball or in a fight.
a fight.
I will beat the living shit out of her.
She would kick my
Say
ass.
that again.
Fucking
She'd
kill
kick the shit out of me
Um,
for
Just
sure.
bait it.
Okay, so we're jumping off capitalism. I want to go to if you guys don't have anything, I want to go to Ribo's American Dream.
Yeah.
And do
Before
you think? Go ahead.
I think your twos, opportunity and American Dream, are synonymous. So, but ask your question. So I want to know where the difference is.
I think mine's different,
Okay.
but I'll tell you why. I want to ask you, do you think today's American Dream is the same as the original American Dream?
No. No.
And
that's-
what do you think today's American Dream is?
Okay, well, first, that's a really great question. Second, no. And it should never be the same as it was yesterday. It should be ever evolving, and that's one of the beautiful things about
But
the
do you think
American
it's
dream.
a good dream we have going right now?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess it depends on what your version of it is, but
What's your version of it?
mine personally, because that's kind of the
And
beautiful.
does that align with what do you think the American Dream? Because I think the American Dream has been
Can I interject just for a
washed,
second?
whitewashed, more or less.
Can I
That's a
interject?
really good question, Cam.
It is a really good question. But I would
Thank you, Missy.
thank you.
Thank you.
I would go as far to say that maybe Ryan's American Dream at this point in his life may be different than
5
the
years ago?
average. No. Just the average American's dream.
That's fine. That's
So
even
I-
that's even better, because I would like to hear what his American Dream is and what he thinks the American Dream is. 'Cause I
Okay.
think I personally think the American Dream right now has been so far washed away.
Yeah.
Like I think it's been.
I got
Com-
no shot, bro.
I think it's been.
I'm not getting
I
a white
think it's
picket
been.
fence
I think
till
it's
I'm
been
40.
victimized. I think it's been victimized and not upheld as like heroic as it used to be. Like,
Huh?
it used to be like.
Heroic?
Well, it used to be
know- I
not
know
necessarily
what you mean.
heroic, but
know.
like it used to be. You took pride in it. You
Okay.
took pride in
Okay.
ownership of it. You took
Okay.
pride in going, I'm gonna fucking be here. I'm gonna build myself into this what I have going.
got you. I got you.
I think heroic might have been a weird word.
Yeah,
but
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Excuse me. Okay, so where do we start? I think we start with the history of the American Dream, and that was, back in the day, you're in America,
Work hard.
obviously, and you work for a company for 40 years, and you have 2.5 kids, and like you said, Tybo, the white
Own a
picket
home.
fence, and
Wait, is
and
the half kid? Does he have Down syndrome, or like
Yeah.
how does that work?
it's the
It's a
happiest
do-
of
it's
them
a
all.
dog. It's one of these people with the dog that says, "I love my dog as much as you love your kid."
Yeah, the stickers on the
Yeah,
back.
you know how much you know you don't love your dog? I'll tear your
Yeah.
dog's head off for my kid in front of you.
I don't think Down syndrome people are half a person for all
Yeah.
those
Ribo
fucking
does.
sensitive people.
I actually think they're 1.5 of a person, but anyways, listen back. Yeah, you own your home, you own a car and a lawnmower, and you probably have a dog, and the Brady Bunch. Not
Yeah.
really, but
It's a
That's
lot of
like
kids.
18 kids.
That's a lot
Yeah.
of kids.
Marsha,
But,
Marsha,
um,
Marsha.
and it's changed, I think, a few times to where we are today, but the principles are really still the same. Like, forget about what comes of it. It's more the principles of it, meaning that you can make yourself. And I think I'd almost argue that that's more true today than ever, because
Really?
yeah, forget about the financial part of it. Forget about owning
That's
a
a-
home.
That's
the
the one
biggest-
thing I think about.
That's the only thing I think
I know, and I
about.
think that's the problem.
Oh,
I have to. But
Why?
okay, I don't want to cut you off.
Why?
but Yeah.
No, that's good. Why?
Because
why do you? Okay, so what do you do?
if you're financially strapped, how am I supposed
That's
to
what I'm
live
saying.
my dream?
Okay, so you can't live your dream if you don't have
Money.
a means to live your way.
Okay, so maybe we have.
So I think if you want to live in a van and you want to fucking travel the country and panhandle, that's your American dream. More power to you.
so maybe we have a misunderstanding as far as the fundamentals of this.
Yeah.
To me, when I think of the American dream, I don't think about the material things that are coming of that dream, from that dream.
So you're thinking of it like as a
I'm thinking
like
of
as a hippie.
I'm thinking of the process of building yourself, whatever that is. Like, there's no other place on earth where there's just flat out more opportunity.
Yeah.
You have more freedoms to exercise those opportunities.
Agreed.
There's more resources. There's more going on. There's more human capital. There's more everything.
The
Human-
fucking internet.
No, but like I gotta.
I mean,
I'm not pushing back, but I just want to know.
Well, the
like,
internet's everywhere.
not a lot of places.
By the way, I was on a houseboat in Nashville, and my cousin's houseboat. Right next door is Al Gore's.
No way.
Al Gore's houseboat. Great internet
Great at
and
the
he has
internet.
solar panels. Yeah, it's called
He
BioSolar.
better have solar panels. that
BioSolar
fucking-
One is the name.
No, but
of the
a lot of places don't have the internet. Let's get that. And the full. No, they don't, and they don't have the full spectrum that we have.
not that we have, but I would say most of the world has access to some form of internet and communication now.
Yeah.
In a.
I'd say
Okay.
nine.
Okay.
I'd
Okay.
say
Okay.
90%
Okay.
of the
Okay.
world.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
So what is? You said human capital. What does that mean?
Human capital means the-
Relationships.
Yeah, yeah. It means relationships. It means the intelligence that we have in the
I think that
people.
goes back to your diversity.
It means okay. It means if I have the idea to
Yeah,
start
it does because you have.
yeah, it does. If
it does.
If I have the idea to start a business, right, I'm gonna need people to do that, and there's no country that has better human capital than America, in my
We got
opinion.
Mexicans.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I'm
now.
just kidding.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I get you.
Were you
I
thinking
get-
like slavery or something? What were you
No,
thinking?
no. I was legitimately confused.
Human capital, yeah. It's a true economic term. I
Well,
know
human
that.
capital also goes back into like, so say you wanted to start a YouTube channel, you have viewers, those are human capital. I mean, there's just more people to
Well, I view those as
weaponize what you want to do.
I view those as consumers. I'm thinking as human capital as far as like the people that you need at hand to execute an idea or a dream.
Okay.
There's no better place to be than America.
Yeah, but
Yeah, that's true. You have more. You have
no.
talent.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
Talent, yeah.
Your talent
human
level.
capital is talent.
Yeah, your
Yes.
talent level.
I just don't understand how you can fulfill in a quote unquote American dream without worrying about fiscal and financial repercussions or anything like that. Like it doesn't.
Well,
I agree with that.
Just because of it's an American dream doesn't mean it's an American fairy tale. Like you still have to work hard and you still have to grind and you still have to get through things. And
Totally.
Like
This is the problem I have with the current American dream. I think it's the way we understand your version of the American dream. I think people nowadays they want
I just want to be
want
able to
their
buy a
cake
condo.
and they want to eat it too. They don't want to fucking work hard for it. They want how am I going to do less and do more and make more? I think that's the current American dream that we are living in. Not individualizing everybody.
Yep.
I'm saying millennials if you want, or I'm considered a millennial too. And I think all three of us, I mean, I'm older than both of you, so all of us have to be millennials,
All
right?
three of us, yeah.
It's like
I think
80
Rybo and I might be one of the. No, what
You're
was
on
it?
the fringe or
I
something.
think we're right in the middle.
Yeah, I think it's like
I'm
97 's
I'm in the
last
I'm in the
millennial.
beginning, so I wouldn't consider myself. But I think that generation is more into
Instant
less
gratification.
work, more things. For lack of a better term,
For
right?
sure, and
more things. I don't want to. Why should I have to? I saw this guy going to work for 12 hours. I don't want to do that. Like, for me, I see the American dream as you can start from nothing. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you start from. If you put in the hard enough work and you put your head down, you can make it.
And I think that's what you're saying, right, Ryan? Like, is that?
Yeah.
No, he said
More or
that from
less?
the youth, you know, he
Yeah,
said that from that.
yeah.
But I think
I'm not
Yeah.
trying to be a dick. I'm
Yeah.
trying to.
you need
legitimately
money.
Understand.
You need money.
Because everyone has, like you said, the American dream progresses from decade to decade, era to era,
As it should.
and it should. But I just don't know what, for me when I think about it now, I think a lot of people have that white picket fence ideal in their mind.
Do you think
But
they still have that?
what I was going to say is a lot of people have that in mind, but they know it's not attainable and not really realistic at this point, so they kind of go, all right, let's readjust. This is a new American dream. I got to bust my ass, which, fine, you should. And you may not get the fruits from your labor.
But do you really want the white picket fence?
But that
No, I'm being honest. Like, is that something that you?
No, but I'd like to be able to buy a house before I'm 35.
the white picket fence.
we had this talk last time though too.
The white picket fence
With your
is-
dad.
is a symbol.
That's my point. Yeah, it's
It's
more of a
not an
symbol.
actual.
I don't fucking care about a fence,
I've owned
dude.
a house for 15 years and I don't have
I'm
white
gonna
picket
come
fence.
home drunk one night and piss on the fence
But-
and blame it on the dog.
Yeah,
I don't
but
care about
but
the
that's
fence.
that's my point. Is it to me the definition of the American dream is not about the material that you get from it. It goes to Cam's number 2. It's the opportunity,
Okay.
right? It's the fact that is available
It is
to do,
available.
and you can
Yeah.
do it. You can go about that however you so please, and that's another beautiful thing about our
That's-
country.
yeah.
Now, we all have our own version of the American
That's what I
dream.
was just that's what I was just gonna say. yeah.
Yours is not the same as mine, and
No.
mine's not the same as his, and
No.
nor should it be. And that would be terrible if it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's not about the fence or the car or building an internet business or this, that, or the other. It's about pursuing what you want to pursue. That's the American dream.
Okay.
And the fact
But-
that is available and also realistic, that's a beautiful thing. And, as far as the millennial thing and like working hard, that I agree with you on that. But I will also say that the problem with millennials in my mind is not that they're lazy, it's that we have
They're
a built-
confused.
well, that a little bit, but you could say that about any young generation ever. But the biggest problem, the singular biggest problem to me is that we're so ingrained to have instant gratification
I agree with that.
that it fucks us. And so it's not that we won't work hard, we just work hard in bursts and we quit. Or it's not that we're not loyal, it's just that we just want it all right now, and also companies fire people left, right,
Yeah.
left and right. And so
I mean-
that's the biggest issue is the instant gratification, and we have to understand that things take time, and I have to remind myself of this, but just because a kid is on the computer for 12 hours doesn't mean he's not working hard. Now that's different than the past for sure, but
Yep.
he's not sowing fields and cleaning rain gutters and doing things like that. But that doesn't mean that he's not researching and writing and blogging or doing whatever the hell
Absolutely.
he's doing.
Yeah.
I think
It's just
millennials-
different.
Let me fire back a little bit though, because I have a problem with this. Like a lot of times when even we all listen to Joe Rogan, and I have a real big problem with follow what you want to do. If you want to write music, you want to write music.
He's
I
big on that.
I understand that.
You don't like that?
I don't like that
You
because
shouldn't
you're
chase
go-
your dreams?
Well, it's
You
just not
should-
realistic.
if
always.
it's most of those things are not realistic.
Sure. Okay.
So at some point, those become hobbies rather than an actual goal. I don't think that you shouldn't tell your kid, hey, you're really good at finger painting. You should be an artist.
So if Elle really likes painting, you're going to tell her, hey, you probably won't make it. You should just stop right now and get a desk job.
I'm not going to tell her when she's a kid, but if she goes into college and she goes, I'm going to be a painter.
I want to be an art major. You're going to tell her, I want to
No,
go
because the art major, you can go be a teacher, you can go do other things. But if she tells me legitimately, I'm going to be a painter for the rest of my life, you're not going to fucking make any money. There's one out of a million people. And I'm going to tell her honestly, you're not going to fucking make it. So that can be your hobby. You know what I'm not.
That might give her the
You kn-
motivation
you
to
know
be
what-
the 1 out of 1,000 that doesn't make it.
You know who's not going to be a professional golfer? Me. Why? I don't have the time or the resources or the anything to get into it, right? Should somebody be
Those
telling
are
me
different.
should somebody be telling me that's your passion. You should be following
You're
that.
33.
If I would have done it
you
at
work a full-time job,
fine.
it's different than
I
telling
would
a-
never
in
ever
that
tell my
scenario.
daughter. I would never ever tell a
different.
kid or anybody that your fucking hobby at 5'7", going and playing basketball because you love it, you should be in the NBA. You
Well,
need to be
obviously,
realistic.
She's a woman. She
You
can't play in
should-
the NBA.
Okay, anybody, right? There shouldn't be like that whole thing that you should follow your dream and you can make it happen for sure. There are outliers. 0.1% of those people make it. You need to be realistic with people, and you need to go, hey, you love playing the guitar? Do you want to live? Do you want to fucking live on the streets and play guitar for dollars? That's probably where you're gonna be, unless you're 1 out of a million.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna play the odds.
Okay, yeah.
I'm gonna play the odds.
I know where you're coming from, Cam. And
That
trust me,
pisses me off when people go, you can do anything you want. No, you can't.
yeah,
You
that's-
cannot.
That's a depressing way to live life, brother.
No, it's not.
No,
It's a realistic way to live life.
That's tough.
Why is that tough?
If you let me
I
talk, I'd tell you.
want my daughter to
If
succeed.
you let me talk, I'd tell you.
I want her to succeed. That's more gratifying than fucking anything.
I don't think you should just shut people down just because the odds are slim. Now, if she's 5'7" and she hasn't made the girls' basketball team for 3 years in high school, do I think it's smart to be like, hey, you're going to be in the WNBA? No, that's way different. If a person has a passion for something and they are truly passionate, yeah, they might fail, man. That's part of life. I've failed in life in things that I thought I'd love to do. Guess what? It is part of shaping you as a person.
I don't want her
But-
living with me at 29 years old.
Okay, you don't have to let her. Say at 21, okay, you chased your dream. 23, you chased your dream. Out on your own. Figure it out. It's not on
Yeah,
you to
but
support
I'm-
it for another 6 years, bro. I'm not telling you that. And you're taking it to the total extreme of one side, which is crazy.
Would you say
But no. The fact that you're you can do anything you want in life, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting your quote almost verbatim.
You can't.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm glad that Elon Musk wasn't around you when he grew up. That's
Outlier.
ridiculous. Sure, without outliers, we wouldn't be where we are in life,
Absolutely.
Cameron.
You're right.
So we don't need people just shutting people down. I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's the right thing to do. I really don't.
I think
because
when
you know what?
I think when you have kids, you're gonna think differently.
Sure. And like I said, if she's trying out for the basketball team when she's 5'6" for the 4th year in a row, maybe that's a good time as a parent to say, hey, this isn't the place for you. But if your girl loves finger painting, and maybe that turns into water
Absolutely.
paint, and tell her, hey, you know how few people make it as an artist?
then she's Bob
you're
Ross.
you're not going anywhere. You're fucking stupid. Why would you
I
do this?
already said I'm
You
not
can
gonna
make
do
a-
this as a kid. Elle draws every single day.
If she's 20 and she's an art major, you know how few jobs there are as art professors in the world? That's a fucking fucked up profession. But you'd still let her
But-
do it,
no,
right?
but
Because
art-
she's passionate about it.
Yeah, but I didn't say art
Art-
professor. I said I'm gonna be an
If you-
artist.
My question to you was, she goes to school for art. What are the two outcomes of that? Be an artist or an art professor? Am I missing something?
Okay, a teacher is fine. A teacher, you take the CSET, you go into art, and you're going to be an art teacher.
Dude, you know
That's
how
a-
much,
that's
you know
a-
how little I respected my art teacher when I was
Absolutely.
a fucking freshman?
But if she loves it, she loves it. But that's
That's
also
my,
a
thank you.
career.
That's my point.
But that's also a career
my
path.
point.
An artist, I'm going to go out and fucking sell my paintings.
Guess what? That person could probably be an art teacher in 2 years once she fails.
Well, if
Bar
she
none.
fails out,
Yeah.
she's not
so
going to
what's
be
the
shit.
problem?
She's not going to be shit. She's going to go, oh, where's my art going to take me?
You're good enough to be an art teacher in high school. I don't think it's.
No, you still have to go and do the college degree, and you still have to
she,
go and.
She took it. She went to college.
That's a completely different scenario. That's completely different.
I guess my broad overarching thing is the fact that
you
are
cannot
so,
be anything you want.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Tybo.
No,
You love basketball. You're good at rec.
I don't want to be an NBA basketball player.
You never could have been.
Yeah, I don't want to.
You know why? Because you knew you couldn't. If you had some stupid parent telling you, if you really thought about it,
I'm glad my dad never said,
Okay.
you can't do this. I'm glad I never had a person in my life that said, you can't do anything.
well, you were
'Cause you know
smart
what?
enough. You were smart enough to know better.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there a lot of kids that aren't?
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that's a product of the way I was raised, but the fact that you are so vehement about telling people what they can't do is.
I'm not
that-
telling them they can't. I'm just
No,
telling
that's
you that
exactly
it's
what
not
you're
for
doing.
everybody. There's not a.
You just told me I couldn't be a basketball player.
You can't.
Yeah. So what? So
not
you're
gonna be in
arguing
the NBA.
about what?
You're not going to be in the NBA.
That's crazy. I know, but you're dying on this hill of
No,
saying
I'm
telling
saying that
people
the
that
problem is that there are
ahead.
parents out there going, you can be anything you want to be as long as you work hard enough. That's not a real statement.
you think they're saying that when they're 5 or when they're 24?
24 is too late.
How old do you think they're saying it?
I think they're saying it forever nowadays.
But 24 is too old.
24 is way too old.
But you just said they're saying it for forever.
They are saying it forever, and I'm saying they should. No, You're saying no. They're telling them still at 24. You're living at home. Just follow your dreams. Don't follow your dreams in my house. Follow your dreams when you're fucking own.
Okay, I got you. Anyways,
Hold on, I gotta. I'm just taking notes over here. I got quite a few.
ahead, yeah.
If
I just
may.
I
No,
just
of
think
course.
as a
course.
parent, it's irresponsible to tell your kids you can be anything you want. If you're 5'2" and you're ugly, you're not going to be a model.
could be a midget model. You
No,
know,
you're not going to be a model. You're not short
There's
enough
a lot of
to be a
avenues for
midget.
modeling nowadays with
Plus
Instagram.
size models. That's a whole nother conversation. I
No,
have a real,
fine.
I
And
have
if
a
that's
real,
a thing, and if that's an avenue you want to take, and you're a good-looking girl, fine.
I have a rub with plus size modeling. But anyways,
Glorifying fucking unhealthy living, yeah,
I have
not a problem too.
I have 4 points I want to make based on
Okay.
All right,
your
let's
guys'
go.
little
Bang, bang, bang.
banter. It was good. I enjoyed listening to it. It was great.
Sorry,
First,
Ryan.
Tybo, you said you did not appreciate your high school art teacher. I want to say that
She was a cunt, dude.
I had an
I
art
like mine. She was my friend's mom.
I had an art teacher my junior year of high school, Mr. Wong. Shout out, and
Big or small wall?
probably small. Top 5
Oh,
teachers
Asian
I ever had.
stereotype.
Really? I would have
Just-
loved that.
He was just an outstanding teacher. Like the art that he would make the whole class produce was just like totally outside what we believed. The way he approached it, I mean, that guy was the shit. I'd love to hunt him down and have him on here, but I just wanted to say that real
I
fast.
tell him how much I don't appreciate art.
Everything's art.
No, I know. I was just being facetious.
Yeah, pizza's art.
Yeah, I know. No,
Okay.
it's not.
Yeah, it is. Next point is, in my life, I've questioned more. Like when I look back on my life and interactions that I've had with people that I respect, I have more questions and more. I don't. Anger is not the right word, but I look down more upon the times when people said I couldn't do something or question why I'm doing something than when somebody.
I don't disagree with that.
So
I get fired up when somebody tells me I can't do something, but if somebody told me I can't be in the NBA, I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right. Because that's a realistic thing.
So-
Cameron, you equate someone telling you that as a basketball player you can't be one of the 0.00001% of people. That's not.
Agreed.
That's not what I'm saying.
You're saying
I
that
don't know
Elle
what-
could be an art teacher, and I agree.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, well, she could, but the fact that you are making this broad, overarching statement that you can't do what you think you can do, to me is
didn't say
egregious. Oh, that was pretty fucking
So,
close.
here-
dude.
I said not everyone can be everything.
well,
Nah,
that's
that's
every-
not what you said.
No, not everybody is.
That's not what you said.
No, I said
Not everyone
everybody.
could be everything. No shit. I can't be an astronaut. I can't be a scuba diver. I can't be an NBA basketball
Dude,
player. I can't be a
You could have been a
Hall of
scuba
Fame
diver. You
football
could have been a
player.
scuba
Could've been the
diver
first
and
two.
an astronaut.
Yeah.
I can't be all four.
You could have been all four. Not NBA.
You just said
Okay.
I could.
No, not NBA.
You
What,
said I
what was
could.
the other one?
So I have a thought.
The
that
first
I-
two you could be.
I have a thought that I think you both will agree with. That might sum up kind of what you both are saying.
Stay in
but
your
maybe
fucking lane.
the middle ground is you can do whatever you want,
Yes,
but you just have to deal with the consequences of whatever that is.
1000%.
So if you want to be an art teacher,
Yeah, okay.
you
I
can
see.
be the shittiest art teacher in the world if you're not meant for it. Now, that's obviously goes without saying. Look, I could have never played in the NBA. I'm a 6-foot white guy.
Obviously.
Okay, so there's certain
couldn't
physical
obviously play
and
in the NBA,
mental
yes.
limitations
Only-
to
yeah.
certain things. But outside of those things, you can be whatever you want, you can do whatever you want, but you have to deal with the consequences that come with whatever that is.
And the sacrifices that
All those things,
If you want
everything,
to get you
everything,
there.
everything.
Yeah.
Right? So look,
even
if
with
you
those
want
sac-
if you want to live on the street because you just love playing the guitar and that's what you want to do, and you can be
You
a
absolutely can do that.
street guitar
Yeah.
performer and you can make $5 a day, but you have to deal with making $5
I
a day.
don't want that for my kid.
I
So
know-
I'm going to tell her it's not a good idea.
I understand that, but I think with a kid, I think it's important to teach them both parts of that statement. One, you can do whatever you want, but the caveat is you have to deal with the consequences of whatever that is.
That is.
And I'm here to
very
help
well
you.
said.
I'm here to help you through that as much as I can as your
Absolutely.
parent. But there's a no, you have to. That as a parent you do, but there's limits to that. There's
Okay.
limits to that, right?
Because I'm not going to
so-
allow my kid to go down a road that is into nonsense.
So
and if you do that road, you're on your own.
So to your example, here's a perfect example in my mind. Elle comes to you and she's like, Dad, she's in high school, let's just say. Dad, I love acting. I love it. I want to be in huge movies, blah, blah, blah. In your mind, you're like, okay, well, the chances of that are happening
luck,
are
yeah,
pretty low.
good luck.
But as a dad, I think, this is just me, my opinion. I think what you say is, all right, let's go all in. But let's be smart about this, okay? I'm going to give you till 21. You can live with me. I'll help you as much as I possibly can. But I have limits too. Like, I don't have all the resources in the world. I'll do all I can. But after 21, if you don't make it, then we might have to look at some other options.
I think I would approach that. How old did she come to you at?
High schoolish.
Freshman year of high school. She took her first drama class. She loves it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go as far as I'm going to support you till 21.
Well,
I would go into, let's get you into the school play.
She does Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah,
She's
I'm-
pretty good. She's not great. You know,
Yeah,
she's
let's do
fine.
that.
The next one,
She has potential.
yeah. She
I would
does
I would
couple
tell
other
her,
plays.
okay, do that for fun as a hobby, and focus on school.
Okay.
Focus on school, get your grades, and then you can go to a college where you can, if you want to pursue drama or you want to pursue any of that stuff, that's on you.
Well,
After.
whatever the guidelines are, you know, the guidelines aren't, and they will be different for
Of
many
course,
people.
there's
There's
so many
people that are
scenarios.
billionaires
Yeah,
that are
yeah,
like, hey, you want to be an actor to their kids until
Next
Yeah,
thing you
but
know,
there's
you're
also
on.
people that are
they're
parents
60.
that don't give
They
their
don't
kids
give
a
a fuck.
dollar.
And the next thing you know,
Right.
you're on Harvey Weinstein's fucking couch.
right, and
getting
you
a
just do
casting
what you
call.
got to do.
Yeah, but
Which-
if you suck a dick for 10 mil for a movie gig, I mean,
Who's gonna knock it?
yeah.
But the
Anything
point,
is
the point,
possible.
the
Yeah.
point, the point is that there's consequences, and the consequences are different in your realm of life, whatever arena you play in, and it is what it is. But you have to deal with them, and so, yes, you can be whatever you want, but you got to deal with that. And then, my fourth
Totally
point
agree.
is that you need the necessities, and then you can chase your dreams. So, the way I look at this is,
kinda what I
it's
was
like
getting at.
you don't do what you're passionate about. You don't do what makes you happy. You don't do what lights you on fire, always. But what you always do is you do what's right. If you always do what's right, you will be good. Meaning, in the beginning, you got to do what's right. You got to provide for yourself and your family, whatever that is. And then if you do that, what's right to do at that point is to chase what makes you happy and what you're passionate about and really like makes you the best person. But if you do that the other way around, that's not right. That's irresponsible.
Well, that's when you get stuck.
It's dumb.
That's when you get stuck in your,
It's dumb.
just like anything. I mean, you get stuck in your whatever job you're in, and then you go, well, I can't get out now. You know, I've done this, and I've done this, and done this. Well, I'm all for having realistic dreams.
Not
And
always.
maybe my realistic dreams are smaller than most people's.
That's what I'm getting at.
And that's your American dream.
and that's just my pessimistic.
and that's
my
okay.
my pessimistic outlook.
realistic, pessimistic. I think
Yeah,
they're
I think they're probably.
synonymous.
Yeah, I think they are.
I
And
think they
I
are.
mean, I would say I'm probably more pessimistic than most. When
I'm pretty pessimistic, and I'm still more of an optimist. It seems like than you in these.
oh, for sure. But I
kind of
also have seen the.
situations.
I mean, I'm a little bit older. I have a kid. You know, I see
I
the
get
world.
it.
I see the world for what it is, and you do also. I'm not taking
was
that
gonna
away from
say,
you.
I mean,
No,
I
I'm not
don't.
taking that away from you.
You're
but this goes
blind.
back. But this goes back to like the buying a home thing,
Yeah.
right? There's no reason that you can't buy a home, right? But is it
home?
going to be uncomfortable?
No, there's absolutely no way I could buy a home right now. Financially, no.
You could. It's just not the home
You
want.
could. It's not the home you want. You
You
could live
go
in
buy a
Hemet.
home, but you'd have to deal with the consequences. Of
Yeah,
that
that's what I'm
home.
saying. You could. So this goes back to
Okay,
the point.
okay,
This
okay,
goes back
I
to
wanna
the point.
back that up.
This goes
Yeah,
back
I
to the
could buy
point that
a
like
shit house in
Exactly.
the middle of fucking
You could.
San Jacinto.
you could.
Sure.
That goes
Is
back
that-
to the
is that
that goes
reasonable?
that goes back to
Is
the
that
point of like you
reasonable?
telling somebody you can do anything you want. You can,
I-
but at a
I don't see that.
complete
The
at a complete
consequences.
consequence of what you're. It's going to be detrimental to your life.
I think you both agree with that statement. You can do whatever you want, but you just have to deal with the consequences of whatever that is.
No, because I think in Cameron's what's the upside of buying a home in San Jacinto?
You own a home.
Oh wow,
You're not
great.
throwing money
But
away.
you
Where-
guys,
where,
that's all,
where do I
that-
go from there?
You're putting money in the bank.
That's a whole different argument. That's a whole different argument than what I just said.
That's not even true, Cameron.
You can
Yes,
cut-
it
What
is.
if- how am I putting money away? I'm gonna be spending half my fucking
Exactly. You're
paycheck.
going to be, but it's not
How
going
am
to
I
be going.
making money?
It's not going to be going to nothing.
Uh,
Okay,
whatever, whatever.
here's
It's
a
a house.
We don't need to get on that, Cameron.
Here's a question. What are your guys' American dreams? Your individual one. You explain yours, and then I'll explain mine.
Okay, go ahead.
My American dream is being debt-free, being able to buy a home at a reasonable price, have a family, have a beautiful dog, small one, preferably a dachshund.
He explained his dog before his wife and his kids. He just
Yeah.
said, I just want a family.
As long as the kids are healthy, don't give a shit. The wife, just don't be a deadbeat, pill-popping addict. Have a little bit of sense of humor. But truly, I just want a job where I enjoy going to work every day. I love my wife. When, we enjoy our time together, we enjoy our time apart, which I think is very huge for a lot of people.
Underrated for sure.
Underrated. Enjoy your time together, enjoy your time apart, and have your own friends and, hobbies that you can do on your own. I'd love to have 2 healthy kids, a wife, not a wife, a girl and a boy. Boy comes first. I can slap him around a little bit so he can slap around the boys that are going to hopefully date her. And then I want a cute little dog that's going to die. I'll cry when I have to put him down, and I'll buy another one. And that's the American dream.
Dog, 2 kids, family, house, wife.
You have a very old school.
You could do that by the end of the year.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Yeah.
Well, it takes 9 months to make a kid, so
Yeah.
that party's gonna have to wait on.
Not 2 kids, but
Hey,
I mean you
Cameron,
could get.
Cameron, you can't do everything you want to do.
No, you can. You told me you can. You told me.
I
You
could.
told me you can.
No, some things
Okay,
don't
so-
beat biology.
Got him.
I can't have sex with myself and make a kid.
My American dream is just comfortability.
That strikes me. I know you said that in a past
Considering
podcast.
No,
how often
no.
you say you like to be uncomfortable.
No, I don't.
that's-
I don't
that's
think.
pretty
I don't want to
shocking.
say like the physical thing.
But you
I
always
just
like
want it to
uncomfortable.
be.
Emotionally,
No, I don't care about that.
What other type of
financially comfortable to where the point where I can
you're
just.
financially comfortable.
I am, and I'm living my American dream.
Okay, so
Yeah,
you're
that's
living.
all I
it.
gotta say. Yeah.
I got a kid. I love her to death.
That's
and
awesome, man. How
she's
many
the-
people can say that?
She's. I mean, to me, my life now, like where I'm living right now, is dad, 100%. Dad mode.
Yeah, you are a dad. I mean,
No,
yeah.
no, and that's what I. That's like my American dream. Be dad mode, dude. Just fucking be the best dad. Tell her that she can't be everything. Tell her that there's realistic limitations on everybody's life,
Yeah.
and she doesn't have them because she's gonna be a fucking genius,
Yeah.
beautiful model, whatever she wants to be, she can be. But she's got my genetics, so she's good to go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think the American dream too is kind of a little bit skewed because, just like you said, I don't think you need to own a home. I don't think you need to. I mean, not to shit on what you're saying, but I think that relationships, not just between a significant other, but friendships, and I think you have great friendships. I know you have great friendships. You have a great family life. You have all those things, but those things are the things that really make your life. Once you've hit the plateau,
Once you have the necessities.
once you've hit the plateau of money.
Cameron, I think we've been at each other's throats, like, in a good way, all night.
No, I
But-
love you. I love you.
And I love you too.
Yeah, I don't-
But it's, I mean, let's be honest, dude. When did you buy your first house?
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with it.
So it's very
I'm an
easy-
outlier.
It's very easy for you to say you don't need to own a house. What am I supposed to do? Live in a friend's.
Well, I can
rent-
tell you.
rent a
I can
room
tell
till
you
I'm
as a best
30?
friend of yours, owning a house is not going to change your life.
I don't think it will either.
It will
But-
make you happy instantaneously, but then you're going to have to deal with that fucking mortgage.
Why
Understood.
is owning a home so important to you, Tabo?
I think it is a big part of the American dream.
For me, it gives me a sense of this is mine. It's kind of like I mean, I'm being facetious, but this is my rifle, this is my gun. Without it, I am nothing. I don't think without a house, you're nothing. But for me, it would, I would like to think it'd give me a sense of pride, a sense of this is what I'm going to work for. And to be honest,
I'm gonna sleep at his house.
You can.
Yeah, I'll take one more.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
but I don't, I
I
don't,
hear
I
you.
don't, I don't quote unquote need a house. I don't need that. Is it something I would like?
I
Yeah,
will say
for
when I was younger, before I bought my house, it was like my one goal.
Yeah, it's not my one goal right now.
But I was also brought up differently, and I didn't have a lot of things growing up, so I thought like owning a house was like you fucking made it.
yeah,
Like that's how I felt when I was younger. Now, I've owned a home for a long time, but it's like it doesn't feel like that anymore.
I don't.
But it also doesn't feel like I'm dumping money into nothing.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I don't think owning a house is. I made it. Like
I would
I'm
say
not
it's a
saying that.
milestone.
Okay,
It's for sure a
but-
milestone, but
It's a
it's not-
milestone.
But that's not what I'm saying. Like my point is, if you're saying as a man who's owned a house for 10 plus years,
Yeah, over 10 years.
yeah, saying to a person who is 28, probably around the 10 plus when you bought your first house,
Yeah.
oh, having a house is not everything. Okay, dude, what am I supposed to do?
No.
What?
I think I might have said that wrong because we've had this talk recently,
I know we did.
and I'm on board
Yeah.
with you buying a house.
Yeah.
But
So-
also, you're not as on board as the uncomfortability factor.
I am, dude. I've
Why would Tybo buy a house? That's stupid.
Well, in his current situation, he has an opportunity to buy a house in a better situation than most.
yes.
Well, I don't know anything about
No,
that.
an
so-
astronomical better situation than most.
And it's not a house. It's a condo. It's not a
No,
fucking
it's still a
house.
house, dude.
It's not- I
Any
mean,
way you look at that place,
It's not a house. It's yeah. Okay, fine. Whatever.
come on, that place is as nice as my place.
Not even close to the size, but
I don't give a shit about that. I mean, that's a
That's what-
nice fucking place.
it is a nice place.
That place is
Regardless, we don't need
Yeah.
to talk about this right now. But
like
the point is owning a house is not like a barometric. That's not the right word, but
Sabermetric.
sabermetrics, baseball, love it. That's not the goal for me. Now, do I think it'll make me a better person?
yes.
Sure, it'll make me buckle up a little bit, and I'm understanding that there's going to be some things I'm going to have to cut out of my life, which I think
Sacrifices.
will make me better. I've crunched the numbers. I feel like that I more or less crunched the numbers, and I have a pretty good understanding of what I'm going to have to pay and where I'm going to stand. But I guess my end point is like, I don't understand why it's such a bad idea to just say, hey, this is the idea. I want to have my house. I want to be able to run my
I
own
didn't say
shit
it was.
and not feel like I'm, in a spot where, I'm happy, but am I super happy? No.
It'll help.
So I guess
Yeah.
that's where I'm coming from.
I didn't want you to think that I was saying that owning a house is not going to change your life, because it will change your life. I
Oh,
mean,
for
it's
sure, and
It's
I
going
hope-
to change your life.
if I
But
do it, I hope it
I don't
does.
think that. I don't want you to think that it's going to, like elevate, like beyond this, and I don't think you do. And I'm on board with you buying a house, Tybo. Like,
No.
I mean, we've had this conversation before, and I'm on board.
I don't, and
Yeah.
and you know what? We could talk about this more. I just feel like it may be boring for some of the people.
No, I got you. No, we don't have to
But-
talk about it. We don't have to talk about it. And I know in your current situation, you and I have a little bit differing of the house thing, which is fine. I mean, to each their own. But the situation that he has going on is worth it to buy.
Potentially,
Yeah.
Well,
potentially.
you gotta strike when the iron's hot, as they say.
And you and I can talk
Yeah.
later. And
Yeah,
it is
I'm
what it is.
curious to
It
hear
is
about
what
it.
it-
But,
but-
no, I mean,
This
and-
one thing I wanted to ask you about before, when you said you didn't want to.
Yeah.
So we talked about it before, and you
Thank you,
go,
Missy.
well, what if I lose 50 grand in a house in 2 years? That was a conversation we had. Maybe not in this podcast, but we had it before, right?
Oh, yeah. I
you know what I'm
see-
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so let's say you buy a house today
Mhm.
just for a number. You buy it for 400 grand,
400 grand. Yeah, that's what I was gonna throw.
right? Buy for 400 grand. In 2 years, it's worth 350 grand,
Uh-huh.
right? Hypothetically, you're down 50 grand.
Right.
You stay in your apartment, you pay 2 grand a month. 2 years, $12,000, $48,000, gone, to never be seen again.
Right.
No chance of ever seeing it again.
Right.
How do you see that as a detriment rather than owning a home where there's a chance, a real chance, I mean, based just on, economics and the housing market, of it coming back and even escalating?
Oh, it will eventually.
Okay. So where do
So-
you...
Okay, so for me, pretty much no matter how you slice it, like if you take a place that you're renting versus a place that you buy, if they're the same type of place, right? 3-bedroom.
Oh, you're talking
house.
about like a quality of living.
Well, no, I'm gonna get to the financial of it is what I'm meaning. But like, you rent a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house. Excuse me. Or you buy a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house.
Uh-huh.
Owning that home is always going to be more expensive. Always. Because property taxes, insurance, maintenance, all those different
I was just breaking down $2,000 a month.
I will, and I'll get to that. But so there's that. I'm just telling you like all the things that factor into my decision or how I
Yeah.
look at that. By the way, I think owning a home is a great thing.
I'm not mad. I'm just trying to figure you out.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. So owning is always more expensive than renting just month to month. For the most, I mean, when you're talking apples to apples place.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. For me, so
dollar signs.
right.
Okay.
So say, in your example, so anything in the market today, at least where we live,
500 grand.
for $400,000, you're
ain't getting
getting
shit.
at the most you're getting a 3-bedroom house, 1 to 2 bath, and it's old as shit. Like I'm
Absolutely.
gonna have to put some money into it on top of buying it. Okay?
Agreed.
So forget about the money on top of it. Just say I have that. So for Haley and I, we're gonna get married next year. Our plan is to have 3 kids. Who knows how that changes? But my point is that we can quickly outgrow that house. Okay, and
Yeah.
my personal belief is, I think that we are in. I don't know if we're at the top of the market, but housing prices are high.
That's volatile.
Oh, yeah.
It's volatile.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you know, I could very easily be at a point. Say I go buy a home right now for $400,000, 3-bedroom.
Good luck.
Shitty, not really a great place to raise a family.
Yeah, good
Not
luck.
our forever home. Okay, and then say the market does go down in 2 years, and Haley and I have a kid and another one on the way, and we want to have another one after that. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at our house like, we can't live here. Like we've outgrown this house, and I have to get rid of it, or I rent it out. But because everything's gone down,
So you're
That's
you're
not covering
more
my mortgage.
you're more worried about family timeline with your housing.
yeah.
Int-
And the
okay.
flex-
Well, no, that makes sense because I've
That's-
never heard that before.
Well, no, it's 100% a personal
No,
timeline because
when we talked about it last time, you had said that, and I was like, "This motherfucker is
Yeah,
dumping
no,
shit,"
no.
and like, no, and I understand it now.
Here-
Completely understand it now.
here's my
Yeah.
here's my American dream, is if I had to put it into one word or one sentence, I don't want to be a slave to anyone.
Okay.
So for me, that means being able. Ideally, what I would like to do is I would like to be able to buy a home that I know we're going to stay in for
10
oh,
years.
oh,
Ride the storm.
15 years.
Yeah, ride the storm.
And so for me that means X's and O's. That means at
Yeah.
least a 4-bedroom house.
I bought in 2008.
And you did great,
Yeah.
right? So for me that means at least a 4-bedroom house, something that I can grow into with the family that I want to build,
Okay.
right? And in a great place, and I just know it's going to be good. And the market can do what it wants for 15 to 20 years because in 15 to 20 years it's going to go up.
Yeah.
Like based
That's
on today to then.
some
and,
point, yeah,
and if I find a place like that and it's a good deal and I'm financially in a place where, that's the other thing is I want to put like 80% down or like pay cash for my home.
Yeah,
Really?
well, it just depends on what
That's my
I would
American dream.
Okay, I understand that,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
but I would fight back a little bit on that. If money is as cheap as it is when I bought my house, you'd be not smart to do that.
Okay, well, whatever.
So say it's at, I think it's at like 4.1 right now.
whatever variation of it that it is that's my mentality. Meaning,
Cash is king.
I may not do a 30-year, I may do a 15-year, and just
Yeah.
pay that son of
Right.
a bitch off because
that's right.
I lived through. So my dad's was in construction. Okay,
Yeah,
and
you
so
saw
we
the
lived
crash.
through that,
Yeah, you saw
and
the crash.
my dad was unemployed for a couple years, and I saw what that can do. And so for me as a provider, after seeing that, it's like if I can have 100% guaranteed shelter for my family
Yeah.
and enough land to where I can grow and raise my own food for my family, that's my American dream.
I have a great
Wait,
example.
you want to like grow food, like legitimately?
Yeah, like a garden.
You're not living
and
in
like,
California. He's not living in California.
Okay.
Okay, so I have a
Maybe,
great
maybe not.
example of this. Gabe, who's here, came to watch us. He is
Shout out, Gabe.
he is an escrow right now in a house.
It's awesome.
Awesome. He's a teacher, and his chick who he bought the house with is a teacher. Both guaranteed jobs. Both are
None-
good paying jobs, right?
Yep.
And Gabe's dad is also a very, very successful man. He owns multiple homes. He owns all these other things, and he went to Gabe and he's like, "Why are you buying right now?" And Gabe goes, "My enjoyment and my life is going to be better because of this home."
Uh-huh.
See, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
It's
because-
personal though. It's
but you
personal.
He's
can't-
going to get married. He's going to have kids. He bought a big enough house. It's got a pool. It's got all these things that he wants. And he goes, "My job's not going anywhere. Her job's not going anywhere.
Market
We're
crashes,
gonna,
I'll sit on it.
I'm going to sit on it. I
sit
bought a
on it.
house that is big enough for us to grow into, just like you want."
Well, that's
Yep.
okay.
he
That's
bought a
okay.
big enough house. I mean, his house is bigger, and he's buying a nice, beautiful home.
But that's a whole different tone than this is going to make me feel better, because you can't make this is going to make my life better. This is going to make me feel better. If you make decisions based on emotion when it comes to money, you are going to be royally fucked.
No,
No,
and,
totally
and, and,
agree.
and, he,
Totally agree.
and he's a. I
It
mean,
has
he's
to-
not doing
It has to be X's and O's. Every
and that's what
time.
he's doing
Every time.
because they're renting,
Totally
and
agree.
they
Well,
are
then that's
renting.
great. That's
they're
good.
renting in a place that makes his girlfriend not happy, and
And that's
it all
pa- I
comes
mean,
down. It all
that's
comes
part of
down
it.
to it all comes down to what you're dealing with in that immediate. And I hope he buy. I mean, he's buying a house. He's gonna be fucking moved in, and I'm gonna have to help him move. But
That's great, though.
he's got a pool, man. I'm gonna go over there all the time. It's
Let me
fucking
know any-
awesome, man.
yeah.
Buy that fucking pool house.
And don't get
Ball
me wrong,
out, dude.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Your happiness and your well-being is an X and an O.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
fuck,
You have to take it
that's-
into
yes.
account.
But that's not the
Yeah.
only thing. And I have a lot of friends. God, they just.
I
they
feel like
think
there's a
that
difference
owning
though
home
between
is gonna be-
overextending
they're gonna be
yourself.
great.
They're not overextending themselves. They're smart people. They're both fucking smart people.
And that's
they're
great.
doing it right, and they're going. This is a place that we can grow into, and this is a
Yeah.
place we can go. If I stay here for 10 years, I've been in my house for 10 years. I bought my house brand fucking new,
Yeah.
off the fucking like, brand new. Everything was already put in there. I didn't have a single thing. I lost fucking 20 grand the first day.
Appliances. or-
But what are you gonna
oh,
do?
shit.
You
Yeah.
you just
Well,
stick it out.
Well, if you have a plan and that plan is.
But I also
tailored
moved
you,
I moved to a
Okay.
town where they go, "Hey man, this shit's not gonna fucking turn around." Now look at it. It's big. It's
Boom.
Temecula.
Yeah, it's
Boom.
crazy.
And who knows? You can't.
As long as
You
you're
can't
smart, as
predict
long as
that.
you're smart about it and you
Oh, yeah.
don't make emotional decisions, as Dave Ramsey says, as long as your house is a blessing and not a burden.
No,
Fuck,
mine's not
great
bad.
for you,
my
man.
shit's easy. My
No,
shit's-
I know
yeah.
yours is. You're
Yeah, my
you're
shit's
fucking.
easy. My
You're
shit's
better
easy.
off than 99% of people. But
All right, I think
good.
we got one more left in us.
Oh,
yeah,
shit.
we're at
Where
the
do you-
2
where do you
hour
wanna go
mark.
to?
We're at
Yeah,
the 2 hour mark.
College football, I'm not going to argue with you about because I do love college football.
Go Bucks.
And America is the best thing with college football.
Yeah.
What do you got, Tybo?
You had something, Tybo. Amazon Prime. No, it's the best.
On college football?
No,
I got
no,
nothing.
Amazon
no.
Prime.
Tybo's more of a UPS
I'm just kidding.
guy.
No.
Shout out
I really
Alden.
didn't have much on Amazon Prime. I was just wondering, like, I mean, you addressed it earlier, like, is it U.S. only? But when you said,
I don't. I'm not really sure. I don't think it's as efficient.
I can't imagine it's U.S. only, but you made the point that can you get something same day? Probably not.
Pretty
So
awesome.
I'm gonna let that slide.
What do you got, Tybo?
You both had military.
I did, but the youth choosing their own destiny is
Yeah.
something that I was
I feel like
not
that got-
for sure.
That
I
gets
agree
into what
with-
that gets into what we're doing.
The youth do not fulfill their own destiny. God forbid. I say this. I say this. I say this as
Oh,
a joke,
no.
you motherfucker. God forbid you have a guy like fucking Cameron telling you you can't do shit in the world.
It's not
And-
true. I would never tell a high school student to do something.
But do I think kids have the opportunity to, especially nowadays with the internet? Like, yeah, you can fucking
It's also
create.
jaded, though.
You can create a YouTube channel,
I mean,
rating toys, and make millions.
Why can't
Sure.
we do that with our fucking podcast?
We should be better.
We
That's
should be
why.
billionaires.
But
could
second
be
off,
better.
the only thing is I'm saying is like, the youth mostly are formed by their parents, and
Nurture versus nature?
the only reason the point I was going to make versus or with that was there's such a huge pressure on kids nowadays to go to college, do this, and you're going to live the American dream. Yet when you come out, you're saddled with, if you're lucky, $100,000
Yeah.
worth of debt. So,
Well-
that's the only pushback I have on that. Like, I
Well,
don't think
okay.
kids always do what they want. I think there's a lot of pressure on them from wherever it comes from. Where I don't think like a lot of kids are doing what they truly want, and at the same time, I don't know if kids always know what they want to do when they're
Well,
young.
that pick
I wants to be a painter.
that pick is based more on not so much the issues that we have within our own country, because I agree with all those.
Yeah,
It's more based on just comparing America to the rest of the world,
okay.
where, and it's a little bit of an extreme pick, but like for the most part, there's no arranged marriages. You're not. I mean, Beast of No Nation. Have you seen that?
I have not. no.
Good but very sad movie. There's not 12-year-olds being handed, for the most part, AKs and saying go fight this war. There's not
I misconstrued.
9-year-olds digging for diamonds. There's
I
not.
totally, yeah, I get what you're saying now.
You can make the argument within America that where you're born greatly depicts where you end up. I don't necessarily agree with that. I agree with that to a certain extent, for sure. But, I think there needs to be, well, in other countries, that's just not a fact.
There's just no hope.
There's
it
just-
is what it is.
You are what you are,
Yeah.
and that's just because there's no opportunity.
Can I don't want to cut you off because,
No, go ahead.
but I do agree with what you're saying. I misconstrued your point.
Yeah.
The kid that lives in Sri Lanka is gonna do what he did
It's going
the
to make
entire time.
beaded fucking bracelets.
Now our kids from Akron, Ohio, are 99% gonna fizzle out and be shitty.
Yeah.
Sure, but 1% could be LeBron James
Right.
and change the world. So,
Okay.
in a sense, is that what you're kind
Yeah,
of?
no, exactly. And then to kind of build off that, there was someone on Rogan, and I forget. You guys might be able to help me out, but fuck, I don't even know if it was he or she, but he or she said like,
Was it Mama something?
no, they were saying that, life isn't equal. Like, you're not gonna make the same amount, you're not gonna get the same amount, but there should be equal opportunity. And I think
I think you're talking about Jordan Peterson when he was talking about equality of outcome versus equality of opportunity.
no, it was a more recent one. I forget what it was, but people confuse equality of outcome and equality of opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think we can make 100 different arguments for what happens within America, but as far as the world goes, the amount of opportunity and the equality of opportunity is probably the best in the world.
Oh, I would
I'm not
agree.
saying
I would
I'm
agree.
not saying
I
it's
would-
great.
Yeah, I would agree.
I would, yeah. And
Wait, you would disagree or no?
No, I would.
Oh, okay.
No,
Oh,
I
okay,
would
gotcha.
wholeheartedly
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
There, if you live in Flint, Michigan, the odds are you're probably not going to
Yeah.
make it out, but you can still make it out.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're growing up,
And compared to the rest of the world,
I
it's
don't know.
not even
Yeah,
cool.
I don't know.
you have zero opportunity.
I don't know who this professor
Zero
was, but there was a professor. It was a video he made, and he goes. He started out with like a group of college kids, right? And he goes, "All right, who has two parents?" And
Oh,
you
I saw that in the
he's-
people
And then
edit.
he,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
scoot
yeah.
back, you scoot back, you scoot back, and,
Yeah.
and you just. He goes, "All right, this is basically like making a layup versus making a half court shot.
Yeah.
You can make a half court shot.
But it's just harder.
The odds are less, and
Yeah.
it's harder,
Yeah.
but you can do it. And these kids up here, two parents, college educated, the whole nine, whatever it is.
Yep.
They just have to make a layup, and that is, I mean, that's the shitty truth of it, because there's always going to be easier routes, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the people with the harder routes can't make it.
Naval Ravikant, or however you say that.
Oh, I know who you're
I
talking
I
about,
sent it to you guys,
the billionaire dude.
He's like an Indian guy,
Yeah,
Indian
he's a-
American.
Yeah, he's a.
But he was talking.
He was the one
about-
that was talking about how it's easy to get a Ferrari, but it's not easy to like. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that
he
dude
was,
was smart.
he was just talking about the importance of opportunity equality, and there's no better place on the planet than here for that.
And I think we can do better at it.
And that's what
And
I
we
mean
can do
about these.
better.
Yeah, I
We
think
can
we
do
can.
better.
I think we can do
absolutely.
better at it.
Oh, absolutely.
I think we should be
that's a-
pumping money into.
And that is one of the other great parts about our country is we understand that we have it great, but I think everyone as a whole always wants us to be better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I mean,
Why would you not want to be better? Why would you
But-
want better cell phones? You want better computers.
course.
You want better everything.
That's capitalism.
Yeah.
and
Yeah, I
exactly.
do. I want the best of everything.
And I'm not even talking just technology. I'm talking left, right, indifferent,
No,
center.
for
you
sure.
know.
Politicians. Yeah, anything.
Just as humans, I think we all want us to be better, and I think sometimes it doesn't always feel that way. But at the end of the day, I don't think anybody's sitting here being like, "Man, I'm so happy these fuckers don't have water or anything." Everybody
No.
wants us to be.
I do
better.
think there are assholes like that though.
Yeah, but that's such
Yeah.
a small
It's such a-
percentage.
yeah.
No. That's my
And-
pessimistic fucking
And
life
you know what?
coming out.
I'd rather kick those motherfuckers out of here.
Absolutely.
Than
I
the
agree.
fucking Mexican guys.
Absolutely.
That are trying to
Siberia
work
is
for,
still open, right?
Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a big ass part of the country that no one wants to be in except for Nurkabiev or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck his name is.
Nurmagomedov. He'll fucking fight bears.
By the way, I know this is totally unrelated. You guys watched the fights last weekend?
I did.
I saw the highlight
So I'm
of the
getting
one
kneed in the
like
fucking face.
3-second fight.
Did you hear what he said afterwards too?
Oh,
He
that
goes,
was great.
"This shit ain't over. If I find him at Whole Foods, I'm gonna smack him up again."
Slap him.
At Whole Foods.
Yeah,
Well, the John Jones fight.
was
he-
boring as shit.
I heard that wasn't
Oh,
good.
I would disagree. I thought that was super entertaining
Yeah.
because I thought John Jones lost.
Well,
And
well, you're not gonna lose a decision.
you're not
going
going to lose a decision. Totally get it. However, Thiago or Santos fought the
No
last
knees.
zero knee.
Yeah, no knee.
Me and my
Dude,
buddies.
He
me and
went
my,
to kick his first kick, and his knee was like
me and my
fucking
buddies were texting
jello
each other.
down.
So I was watching by
Yeah, I
myself
didn't
and I
see
go, "Oh, he tore his ACL, right? Tore his UCL, PCL, ACL,
All of them.
UCL.
In both knees, right?
No, just the left.
Oh,
Just the
his
left.
his shit was done.
All right, I'm
Yikes.
sorry. Just wanted to talk
All right.
about that.
Next week we're gonna entertain a guest, right?
I think we should.
I think we should entertain a guest, and we should come back at it.
We will.
right.
Anybody have any ideas? Send us.
hit us
send
up.
us whatever you want to hear.
DMs.
DM me on my new Instagram.
Tybo.
Change my name.
Tybo Forrester.
I
Is that
changed
it?
yeah.
R.I.P. to Tybo.
How many
for
people
show.
drop? How many
R.I.P.
drop?
Tybo for sure.
1,000 people.
1,000 people
Yeah,
said
he's
they're
got
no
no
longer
friends left.
friends. I'm at
could-
negative 700
You
now.
can still send nudes to our DM because you're gonna take over the Instagram. So
Yes,
you're gonna
send them. No dick pics. Actually, send all the dick pics.
Yeah, fine. We'll put them up.
Yeah,
Cam,
send 'em
All
all.
right.
Cam
Get to
likes
work,
us.
fucking pussies.